Now, let me say this. Let me stretch my back. Okay. I'm sitting straight up. You know, tall brother. Sometimes we got them lower back issues. Okay. The loosey goosey. You the loosey goosey. You
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Thank you for your patience. I'm unapologetically late as usual. We got a lot to get into in this series. Shout out to the Cookie Crush chat. Undefeated, let's go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming, FDMG, it's coming, 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 it's coming. FDMG is coming, thought his personality be twerking, it's twerking.
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Interesting events today. What's going on social media? Umar did an interview. I was going to cover, we may cover it at some point. I do have it. I'm thinking about covering that whole situation tomorrow. Either that or we'll continue with this series. Either way, we got a lot to get into. Umar went on this podcast, and we all know Umar has a long history of criticizing successful Black people, Black men in particular. Is this screen too dark? Let me know, because I think I need to bring this lighting over. Hold on one second. I got a new monitor, so it may just be that the monitor, how it looks on to me, it looks like it's not bright enough. So let me turn this up over here. So Umar, he was on a podcast. He has a long history of disrespecting and degrading successful Black people, and in particular, successful Black men. And the other thing is that Umar has a history of defending abusers and predators, you know, people like P. Diddy. So Umar was on a podcast, and he made some comments. We may get into it tomorrow. I got to think about it. And he was basically talking about how 50 Cent doing the documentary on P. Diddy is a form of Black people or Black hate, and that we shouldn't do it. But if you guys listen to Umar Johnson's rhetoric, most of the time, 95% of the time, when he's talking about Black people, it's negative. He's saying something negative about Black people. Sometimes he'll say something positive to start, like, I don't have any issue with 50, and then he starts to talk shit. That's what Umar does. There's this congresswoman, I believe, or someone running for the Senate or something like that. He talks about her too. He starts off by saying, I don't have a problem with her, but I don't like how she's wearing that. You know, she shouldn't be wearing weave, and, you know, she don't have natural hair. Well, okay, that's just taking shots. That's what Umar does. So he makes these comments about how it's a form of Black hate, and that we shouldn't. He says it's okay to hold. We should hold Black people accountable. Well, Umar, that's what I've been doing to you. See? And Umar knows that I'm working on a full-fledged documentary of Umar's whole life. So he's triggered right now. And I told people that this was going to happen anyway. I've already done one documentary on Umar, but this one will cover his whole life. And yeah, now that I think about it, it could be broken up into series, because it's probably going to be close to 12 hours long. But Umar has to clout chase. That's what he does. He's always taking shots at successful Black people. And 50 Cent is extremely successful on different levels, not just as a rapper. Okay. I'm just talking about just in the entertainment industry, film, documentary work, and et cetera, music production. The list goes on and on and on. So we can put together a whole list. And if we cover this full time, if we do this tomorrow, we'll cover the whole thing. I have all of the receipts already lined up and everything. In the past, I put together a list, and we can do it again as an exercise if we cover this tomorrow. I just got to decide if that's when we want to do it. I put together a whole list of successful Black people that Umar Johnson has attacked over the years, so-called holding them accountable. But what Umar does is he feels entitled to criticize any and everybody. And again, we can put together a whole list. But as soon as someone criticizes an abuser like Diddy or criticizes Umar, all of a sudden it's a form of Black hate. And then Umar, he does this every single time. He attempts to deflect. But what about all the white people who are doing these things? We're not talking about all those people. We're talking about, in this case, 50 Cent's talking about P. Diddy. And in my case, I'm talking about Umar. He has some nerve to be even saying anything about anybody. Let me give you guys 10 facts off the top of the head about Umar that a lot of people don't know. Verifiable. 10 facts. Number one, Umar's been homeless since 2019. He was evicted at the end of 2019. After that, he started living in and out of hotels and motel rooms. And then he moved into his mama's place. Fact number two, he lives with his mama who's on Section 8. I wonder if 50 knows that. Or you Umar Johnson followers, or those people who make these excuses about how, no, we shouldn't tear another Black man down. I have a whole list of the top 10 excuses made by Umar Johnson followers, and he's programmed them to have these excuses. Top 10 excuses made by Umar Johnson followers. And at the top of that list is you trying to tear another Black man down. No, that ain't it. If you're doing wrong, you're doing wrong. Fact number three, Umar has at least three baby mamas in Philadelphia alone, and another woman attempted to put him on child support. Fact number four, Umar Johnson claims that he only has 2 baby mamas, but he lies about that. Let's keep that with fact number 3 because I don't want to run out of facts. Fact number 4, Umar Johnson don't take care of his kids. He's a deadbeat. He's an absentee father. We'll be getting into what he did to his daughter this year when she came out to expose him as a deadbeat and see what he did to her online. Fact number 5, Umar has raised a bare minimum $1.67 million since 2019 for this FDMG school scam. And yet in 2025, he's telling people that he hasn't raised $1 million, and we're not even counting all the money that Umar raised in 2025. All the money that Umar raised in 2014, 15, 16, 17, and 18. He's a con man and a liar. Fact number 6, FDMG was supposed to open the school was supposed to open September 11, 2013. Umar posted this he's taken this down since, by the way, but I have it. I've been talking about this for years. January 6th of 2010, Umar Abdullah Johnson posted on his Facebook page, promises in 2010 to begin laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black boys specializing in learning disabilities and disruptive behavior disorders. This will be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. Grand opening September 11, 2013. This is Chestnut Checkers. I wonder if 50 knows this. All this will be inside of the documentary. Hold your horses, hold your phone. What fact am I on? What is it, 6? Y'all do realize we're going into 2026. All right? And Umar's still collecting money for the school that does not exist. Am I on fact number 6? I think I'm on fact number 6. Fact number 7. Listen, Umar, he in his post and we're gonna get deeper into this because Umar, he's a coward too. That's the other thing. See, he made those comments about about 50, but then he in his post he tries to double down, but then he backtracks like the coward that he is because he don't want that 50 heat on that ass. Real talk, hit the one. Because y'all listen, y'all know 50. Don't nobody want that 50 on him. Okay? Let me tell y'all something. P. Diddy didn't want 50 on him. Okay, let's be real about it. Now, what P did, what 50 is to P Diddy, I am to Umar. Pause. If this makes sense. No Diddy. This makes sense? it's just 50's on the whole, another level, right? And comparatively speaking, P Diddy's on a whole nother level compared to Umar living in his mama closet at the age of 50 in Section 8 housing. But you guys see my point? What fact are we on, by the way? I can't wait for this documentary to be done. Somebody said, nah, 50 hates Diddy. Listen, I don't know. I don't hate Umar, right? I'll tell you that right there. No baby oil. No baby oil. Look, yeah, right. Come on, people. Building a school takes a lifetime. Come on. All right. Take that. Let me get out this chat. Okay, I'm on fact number 7. Okay, so fact number 7. What's crazy is that in this post, Umar, he talks about he wants to do a documentary with 50 now. But here's fact number 7. Umar was supposed to have a documentary done in the fall of 2014. Race First Films in association with Prince of Pan Africanism publishing Psychoacademic War Against Black Boys, the shockumentary. Look at this. Coming to a theater near you, fall of 2014. He was collecting money for this. This never came out. He was still collecting money for this in 2022. And it never came out. So this was supposed to premiere in the fall of 2014. He collected money for, and he kept collecting money for back then all the way to 2022. But the school was supposed to open in 2013, and he's raised millions of dollars for this scam, and that hasn't come out. And yet he wants to ask 50 to do a documentary with him. Umar's a scammer. See, the school is a scam. The documentary is a scam. He has all sorts of scams going all throughout the years. And that's all that's going to be documented inside the documentary. So that's fact number 7. Fact number 8, Umar has not worked a job since 2000, consistently, since 2006. The last time he worked a job for about 3 months was in 2014. And the last time he worked consistently as a school psychologist was in 2006, and then intermittently from 2006 through 2007 through 2011. And yet he's telling people in 2025 that he's a school psychologist, he's a psychologist, he's a doctor of psychology. No, he hasn't worked a job consistently since 2006. And in terms of working as a school psychologist, he hasn't worked as a school psychologist since 2011. And yet he's still telling people in 2025 that he's currently working as a school psychologist. He's a con man. He's a pathological liar. What is that? That's fact number 8. Fact number 9, Umar doesn't even own his own vehicle. He rents cars. Well, people ask, well, where did he come up with the money to rent these cars? Well, the donation money. When he was living in our hotel rooms before he moved in with his mama, donation money. When he goes and travels around the world, donation money. For a school that does not exist. What is that? Fact number 9? Or am I already on, or am I on 8? Okay. Let me know in the chat room. Yeah, Kogo. Donations, gifts. I want to pull up this document for the top. It's not coming up for some reason. Top 5 excuses. I may be in the wrong. Let me look here. Oh, I'm on number 8. Okay. Number 9. Umar did not have tax exempt status when he started raising money for the St. Paul's College. That was in 2014. He did not have tax exempt status for 2014, 15, and 2016. All the money he raised there was considered to be personal income. No, wait, hold on. He did not have tax exempt status in 2014. He gets it in 2015, but he doesn't file proper paperwork with the IRS for 2015, 16, and 17. So they revoke his nonprofit status. And therefore, because he wasn't reporting how much money he was making, wasn't reporting anything. So all the money that he received doesn't fall under tax exemption. It's considered to be personal income. And that's why during that time, Umar started to get massive tax liens on his record. But see, that was all supposed to be money that was supposed to go towards these to FDMG. No, that was his personal income. Umar continues to collect money 2018, 2000. Okay, so that's fact number 9. Here's fact number 10. Umar continues to collect money, all personal income, 2014. And I'm just talking specifically from 2014, April 2014, when he started raising money for the St. Paul's College. He was raising money before that. In fact, land, according to Umar, was donated to Umar in 2013 in San Bernardino, California. And yet it takes him over 6 more years to continue to collect money to finally settle on some abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. It's a long con. That's what it is, because he was bringing in money for all of those years. He doesn't have tax exempt status in 2014. All the money that was raised in 2014 is considered to be personal income. He gets tax exempt status in 2015. He has it from 2015, 16, and 17, but it gets revoked because it doesn't file proper paperwork, and all that money is considered to be personal income. That's why he starts racking up all these massive tax liens. Then we get into 2017, 18, and 2019. He still didn't have tax exempt status, but he's still collecting money the whole time. That's why he did whatever he wanted to with the money. 2019, and then he gets tax exempt status in 2020. But what happens is, because he purchases these trap banners in 2019, he doesn't have tax exempt status at that time. Then for 2019 and for 2020, he has to pay, and really his donors have to pay property tax, school tax, property tax. Well, did you guys know that the total amount of money that you donors had to pay is wasted money simply because Umar didn't have his paperwork in order? It was over $160,000 of donation money that's wasted simply because Umar didn't have proper paperwork in order. And then he blames everyone else as to why he didn't have that paperwork in order. He's a con man. He wastes people's money. He lies to people about it. Here's one other fact. The last time Umar gave an update on how much money he raised was in 2020, and he said $850,000. Well, if in 2020 Umar had $850,000, how is it possible that in 2025 he's saying that he hasn't raised $1 million? When if you cross-reference his IRS filings for 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024, you'll see very clearly that Umar raised over $1.67 million. But in 2020, Umar was saying that he had only raised $850,000, but in 2025 he says he hasn't raised $1 million. He's a con man. Now listen, if P Diddy really, if 50 really wanted to go back at Umar, he would just have to do the research, and I've already done it, but all he have to do is just do the research into the financials dealing with Umar. And it's a wrap. That's it. And if Umar was ever officially audited for all the money that he's raised and it becomes public record, Umar's done. My best estimate at this point is Umar's raised at least $3 million. What I can prove from 2019 to 2020 through 2024 is $1.67 million. But my best estimate as of right now is about $3 million when you count up all the other years, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 2025. I've done the research too, because there are times where Umar, the number changes. He'll backtrack on the number. One year he says $750,000. The next year he says $700,000. He's a con man. All right. So those are 10 facts just to consider. And I can rattle off another 20 if y'all wanted me to, but we got to get going with this live stream. We got a lot to get into. What's up, Miss Vernica? Thank you so much for being here. That man's full. I've done the research. I've done the research, and I've been doing the research for years. Powerful. Yeah, I'm sure he's not. But see, Umar, he knows doggone well that. Umar knows doggone well that if 50 went back at him, Umar would be done. Okay, real talk. Why does it seem let me know in the chat real quick. Does this seem like it's dark on the screen? It just looks like it on this monitor. I have to adjust these settings. I got 2 new monitors. I have this other one. I took that one back because I didn't like it all that much. I got 2 other ones. Let me give you guys one other fact too, dealing with these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware, that Umar called schools. His followers call schools. They're not schools. They're abandoned buildings. They're still on the vacant property list. After 6 years and 10 months, it's about to be 7 years. Here's another fun fact. In 6 years and 10 months, Umar has not finished renovation on 1 room. Doesn't even have an office up there at these abandoned buildings. How is that possible? Fun fact, in 2019, the Environmental Protection Agency did a report. They did an analysis of these, what they call brownfield sites in Wilmington, Delaware. There's a lot of toxicity in that area. That used to be a major industrial town going all the way back. I think it was like the 1920s or something like that, based on the research, because I was going to have that in the document, but I'm not going to put that segment in there. But it was going to, because there's rivers that flow through there. So that there was like these hubs along that river that people, ships would come to. So it was a lot of trading, a lot of industry. And so those buildings used to be owned by Hercules Inc. And they used to manufacture like chemicals and munitions, like bombs and or materials to create bombs and weaponry, bullets and that type of stuff. So what ends up happening is those buildings at a later, more recent, I guess, in a bigger scheme of things, we're talking 2000s, the buildings are renovated. Well, when we get into 2019, and they're renovated and converted into schools. It was called the Moyer Academy, the J. Moyer Academy. And I'm going to have this inside the documentary to the history of these buildings. The Moyer Academy ended up closing down, and then they reopened as the new J. Moyer Academy. That's why the signage is still up there. Umar hasn't even changed the signage up there after 6 years and 10 months. He's not serious about opening up a school. He's a con man. But by the time we get into 2019, prior to Umar even acquiring these abandoned buildings for allegedly more than $400,000, but online records show $400,000. Umar's never given an official number in terms of how much money he spent to acquire. But why would he? Because he wants to hide how much money he spent on his own life and his lifestyle, right? By the way, another fun fact, Umar's a pookie. He's a dope fiend. A lot of people don't want to say it. They're scared. I said, I got the receipts. I could show you guys. I've shown it many times over. And people, if you're from the streets and you don't realize there's something wrong with you, and you're in denial. Just like Umar Johnson falls in denial about the fact that he's a con man. Umar, this guy, he out there. 2019 rolled around when the EPA, it's a government agency, the Environmental Protection Agency, comes out and they do a study, they do an analysis of that area, and a brownfield is land. It could be a structured land where there's a structure on the land, or it could just be land by itself with nothing built on top of it. It could be streams, it could be, hills, whatever. The land is toxic. It could be toxicity on the soil. It could be toxicity in the soil, under the ground. It could be the water levels toxicity, whatever the case may be. Because of the industrial area, there was a lot of toxicity because of all the manufacturing, all the industries that were operating in there. Sewage and byproducts and all this kind of stuff. A lot of that stuff used to be filtered into the river they used to run by these buildings back in the day. There was a child that drowned there. There's also a quarry. There's a quarry lake right behind the school. There's a child that drowned there back in the day. That's why they had to erect a fence and put up signs. But y'all didn't know that. But they do this analysis, the Environmental Protection Agency, and they classify brownfield catalyst sites. And what brownfield catalyst sites are, these are sites that are not only toxic, but they have the potential to toxify other areas, surrounding areas. And guess what was one of the buildings that was identified as a brownfield catalyst site? The same buildings that Umar purchased in February of 2019. That's why you go look up there. That's what this building is still on vacant property list. They're never going to pass inspection. You go up there, you see mold growing all over the place. That's a hazard. It's toxic. There's in 2009, the foundation failed. Umar ain't talked about that. Well, why is it relevant? Because who knows where things are at in terms of foundation in 2019, because there was water coming up from this pipe inside of the small gym. for years before Umar purchased it, and then he's purchased it in 2019, and then for years he didn't get the issue corrected. There's no HVAC, no ventilation, and you can have standing water, and yes, there was black mold on the wall. And Umar said, yeah, we're gonna wipe that off. Well, the point that I'm getting at is that's a fun fact, isn't it? That the EPA classified these abandoned buildings as brownfield catalyst sites. You guys can look it up for yourself. Okay, anyway, I can go on and on and on. We're gonna leave it right there. I was gonna pull up the top 10 excuses used by Umar Johnson followers, but I'm gonna leave that right there too. All right. So thank you everyone for tuning on in. Butter Biscuits. What's up? What's up, 100% real, man? Thank you so much for being here. Butter Biscuits. That's all we can say with this situation. Black Wolf said, gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Black Wolf. I appreciate that. I don't plan on doing the next segment for members only this weekend because we had my wife's birthday party. And I've been really busy with other stuff too, family stuff. So I didn't have time to get into the editing. But after this week, I'm going to have some time off. I'm going to schedule time off, and then I got Christmas break at my job. So I'm going to have, it'd be closer to 3 weeks when I take time off of where I don't even have to go into work. So we're going to get back to it, and I'll get back into the editing and everything else. We'll be doing some more live streams here for everyone. There'll also be members only live streams where we're doing segments of the documentary. Rough drafts, and then we're going to be doing, as usual, we'll be doing some marathons as well. So everyone, please look forward to that, and I'm excited. Thank you guys so much. Thank you all so much for your support this year. It's been by far my most successful year here on YouTube, and I'm thoroughly grateful. Okay, thank you so much. Especially you. Thanks to you too, Black. We'll appreciate you. Okay, and then Munya says Umar is irrelevant. By taking shots at, say, 50 Cent or anyone relevant, he becomes relevant. Yeah, that's been Umar's MO. He's been doing that for years. But he mainly attacks successful Black people and people who are far more successful than him. See, Umar gets online. He pretends to be the psychologist, or he claims to be the most requested scholar. He's not even a scholar. Scholars are peer reviewed. Okay, they have peers. They're published. Umar's none of that. He doesn't even work as a professional and hasn't consistently since 2006. And I'll break down this in terms of the last segment of the documentary that for the rough draft. I'll break down this whole sequence of events. Umar did work. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. He did work in 2014 for about 3 months. Okay, I haven't verified it, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I can show you guys the picture that he posted. In fact, see, I'm always fair too with Umar. So that's another reason why Umar, the Diddy documentary that 50 Cent did, and I watched the first episode. I haven't had time to get into all of it. My wife, she watched the whole thing, but I'll get to the whole thing at some point. It makes Umar uncomfortable. Now, I'm not saying that somehow my documentary is going to be on a level of 50 because that's 50. But what I'm saying is that Umar knows what kind of impact 50 has had on Diddy. Pause. No Diddy. You guys understand what I'm saying? Umar fears that just on a lesser level, because I'm not on that level. Umar's not on the level of Diddy. and clearly I'm not on the level of 50. All right. But Umar still, he recognizes what has taken place, and Umar fears this documentary coming out. That's why Umar's posting shit like this, where he's trying to give a timeline so that somehow I'm going to take his word for what he was doing in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Umar, I don't give a shit what you post. I go based upon my research and the receipts, because you're a pathological liar. But I'll still give you the benefit of the doubt. That's why Umar's doing shit like this. That's why he's posting this stuff about the Diddy doc. He's antsy, and he's a coward too. Now, what do I do? Because I'm fair. I'm going to go through this. I still haven't had time. I'll go through this, and maybe we'll do a show, and I'll highlight, okay, what's on here that I didn't know that I can verify. And there may be a couple of things on here, but most of the shit that's on here, I already knew through research. And I also know that there are things I can highlight in red that Umar is lying about right here. Point is, I give Umar the benefit of the doubt because I do believe, and I haven't verified it, that Umar was a school principal in 2014. He posted this right here. And someone took it and put this like this. I gotta find the original. Actually, I think I do have the original picture. I did. I ran across it, but I just didn't archive it properly. This is what someone else they did, but I have the original picture. I'll use the original picture for the documentary, not this one, okay? Because I always want to be fair. But you see Umar sitting inside the office, and then behind him it says November 2014. Right. And then one of the things I did in my research was I cross-referenced his child support docket, and you'll see where Umar is unemployed because it'll say generic order, generic order. That means that either Umar is underemployed, he's unemployed, or he's not working. You guys understand what I'm saying? But see, Umar claims that he was this big-time psychologist. No, he was a traveling psychologist, and he would go from school to school, and he would have his shit. All of his shit would be inside of his truck. He admitted this. He didn't even have an office. And he would go on some days, he'll go to one school and he'd just bring all of his shit in his truck, unload that shit. That's wild. Okay. And some days he'll go to different schools. But I give him the benefit of the doubt. But outside of that 2014, Umar was not working, period. And the child support docket proves that. And then also cross-reference his schedule. That schedule that he posted back in the day when he was speaking at different places. Y'all be amazed by that shit. It'd be in a documentary. I won't show all of the years because it'd be redundant, but I'll show the earlier years, because it's physically impossible for Umar to even work as a school psychologist because he was traveling all over the world. And I already figured out how I'm going to do it in my mind. I'll put the calendar up, let's say for January, and I'll say these are the dates, and it'd be highlighted. The dates that are in orange are the dates where Umar was not in Philadelphia and he was traveling in the country somewhere. The dates that are in red are going to be dates where Umar was traveling somewhere out of the country. And then you look at the calendar and you'll see it's impossible for Umar to be traveling outside the state of Pennsylvania and outside the country, United States of America, and work as a school psychologist at the same time, even though he was claiming that he was. And we can look at 2010 because he didn't start posting his scheduling until about 2013. No, 2012. 2011. It's 2011. 2011. But you can just cross-reference that. There's no way. See, if it's during the school year and Umar's traveling for the whole month or for 2 months, how is he working as a school psychologist? Well, he wasn't. Umar's been arrested. Another fun fact: he's been arrested for child support. For not paying child support. He's had bench warrants, all kinds of, had his driver's license revoked. Fun facts. Y'all know one time, another fact that's not too fun, he's been hoarding his mother in the Section 8 housing. And they had, she almost got evicted last year, last year, 2024, because there's a process that you have to go through in terms of Section 8 to renew for the following year. But Umar, he didn't even have things in order to where he was taking care of that stuff. And he's supposed to be the primary caretaker for his mama. How are you the primary caretaker? You travel all over the world, you're the primary caretaker for your mama, and you're a school psychologist? Cut it out. He's a pathological liar, living off his mama in Section 8 housing. She almost gets evicted up out of there. Okay, they resolved the issue, but the math ain't math, and is the point that I'm making, right? So in the documentary, I'll show the calendar. And I'm going to do it for all years because it gets redundant at a certain point. But the point that I'm making is that Umar has not worked consistently as a school psychologist since 2006. 2006. Then he was on contract as a school psychologist in the charter school system, but he wasn't working consistently there either. He was causing problems too, including litigation. A lot of people don't know about that. So that by the time we get in 2011 with the Hidden Colors series, with Tariq Nasheed, Umar starts to gain more traction. Hidden Colors #1, Hidden Colors #2, Hidden Colors #3. I've done all the research, including the one where he got that big bump on his lip. And Umar makes the sacrifice, as he claims it, that he's gonna uplift my people. I'm gonna give up my career as a school. He wasn't even working consistently anyway. I'm gonna give up my career as a school psychologist. And he's still claiming to be one in 2025. Here's another fact. He holds no certifications, professional certifications in 2025. And yet he tells people that he does. I'm a certified school. No, you're not. You're not a certified school psychologist. He's never held a license. He was a low-level school psychologist. There's nothing wrong with that. But he has to say, I'm a psychotherapist. I have him on record talking crazy. I'm a child therapist. I even do special therapy with the LGBT. You cut it out, Umar. He does. He holds no current certifications, professional certifications, and yet he tells people that he does. Anyway, I go on and on. So this is the last time that Umar worked, and it was for about 3 months. And my research shows that, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, that Umar was functioning as a principal. And based upon information that I've received, again, I haven't been able to verify it, but I'm going to give Umar the benefit of the doubt that he worked in 2014 for about 3 months. You can look at the child support doc and you'll see, okay? Because it'll say wage attachments and then wage guard. It doesn't say wage guard. It's a specific term in child support. And then at a certain point, it says a generic order. What that means is that they can't find his employment. That's because he wasn't working at a certain point. Okay, so it's about 3 months. And information that was sent to me, again, haven't verified this, so I'm just saying this just to put into the mix, not as a statement of fact, because I'm always fair with Umar, was that Umar had difficulty as someone who was in a leadership role with managing people in a way that was respectful, that Umar wanted ultimate power and control. And that furthermore, that Umar was dealing with oh my goodness, he was dealing with, because he has a history of this shit too. He was dealing with someone, Sharon, oh my God, I shouldn't say this. Allegedly, Sharon, and that Sharon was in a relationship with, allegedly, now I sound like Tasha K. Shit, was in a relationship already and helped him to get the job. But then he started dealing with her. What was it, in Petersburg? Something like that. Pattisburg, something like that, Pennsylvania, whatever. Harrisburg. Anyway, let me take that all back, okay? Because I don't want to be putting stuff on Umar that I haven't verified, okay? But everything else, okay, it's verified. Anyway, it's been alleged too that he was a megalomaniac, which is consistent with Umar, but also that he didn't work well, especially with the white teachers, which makes sense dealing with Umar's race baiting. All right. Anyway, I'm going to leave that right there. So I think I would like to do this tomorrow, do a live stream to get into this whole situation with Umar's comments about 50 cents. And there's been people online who've been posting about it. This is from, according to Hip Hop, Dr. Umar says 50 Cent's Diddy documentary is a case of self-hatred. And then one of the comments was interesting. Someone said here, it says Ron Lewis, it says, where's the school doc? Yeah, Umar, you need to be worrying about these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware that he calls schools, as opposed to everybody else's business. But the reason why Umar, he has to comment on this, one, he's clout chasing off of 50 Cent. But the other thing is that Umar, he has anxiety dealing with the documentary that I'm going to drop on him. That's really what the issue is. Okay. And furthermore, Umar has a history of attacking black people consistently and criticizing black people and so-called holding them accountable consistently. He's done this, but then when other people do it to abusers, he defends the abusers. And then he don't like when other people do it to him. That's why he don't like what he's all antsy about the documentary that I'm working on dealing with him. Okay, let's get into the show. All right. Thank you guys again. Inside the Cook Question. I appreciate it. YouTube Device says, hey, Cook, I'm recovering from a cold. Pray for me. Okay, yeah. I hope you feel better. Just take it easy. All of my children except one, they've been sick back to back to back, and it's been lingering because someone they're still coughing, right? And it's been like close to a month. My wife, she got sick too. I wasn't feeling well for a couple of days too, but I ain't got no time to be sick. I just keep going. I gotta go to work. So I hope you feel better because there has been something going on. And it's for the household. It wasn't COVID or anything like that, but it was bad. Okay. Thank you, YouTube. I hope you feel better too. Miranda says, "Oh, Lenon, when you finish the documentary, Umar going to crash out and turn into a werewolf. An AI skit of him turning into one." I wouldn't do him like that. I wouldn't do an AI skit that would. I do have some plans though dealing with the AI, but it's not malicious at all. And I want to say this before we get into today's show that. I don't hate Umar. Now, Umar's done some horrible things to other people, but he's done some horrible things to me too. He called me gay. He said that I was a pedophile. He said I mess with little boys. He did that on the Lord Jamar show. When he said that, he's doxed my personal information, including my home address, and told his followers to come get with me. Y'all, anybody remember that hit the one? Okay, he's a punk because It's like you don't have to try to weaponize your audience against other people. If you're a man, just stand on business, as he said, told 50 that he stand on business. No, Umar is a coward. He's the ultimate coward. See, if you about it like that, just be about it. And I'm not with all that shit talking, I'm not like that. Just don't show up at my door. You can get online, talk all crazy you want to. You can lie about me. He had people lying on my wife. He had people lying on me. He even had his followers, and there's still some that had stalking my kids. And so I have to keep on my kids as best as possible. I have to keep them off the internet. Umar did the same thing to his own daughter. When she came out and exposed him as a deadbeat, he told his followers to go after her. And it got so bad for her, she got admitted. I hate to even talk about this, but she got admitted to a mental health facility. That's the type of person. He's a coward. He's going to do that to his own daughter, but he's done that to so many other people over the years. But even still, I don't hold any animosity, but I know one damn thing. I'm his karma in part. Yeah, and I've had to pay a price too over the years. Yeah, I get that. But justice is going to be served one way or the other, Umar. Real talk. And one thing I can say about Umar is that he's a coward. And one thing I can say about myself is I've always been fair with Umar. I've always given him the benefit of the doubt on things. But once the facts come in, I deal with the facts. I deal with the research, straight up. All right. Thanks, Miranda, for the super chat. Okay, let's get into it, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. So what we've been covering is 2025, because this 2025 has been a huge down year for Umar on different levels. And I showed videos from January and February of this year. I want to pick back up with February, and then we're not going to even we won't have time to get. Well, maybe we will, because I want to get into where his daughter comes out and exposes him. We may have time. That's because that was supposed to be what we're was going to focus on today. But I started later, and then also I got to be up out of here in about an hour and 30 minutes. Okay, but we'll get through as much as possible. So what we're going to do is we'll pick up now with where we left off yesterday, and then we'll continue this series. I really want to cover this 50 Cent thing and the interview that Umar did on the podcast. It was a younger brother, and if anyone doesn't know about this, just so that I can set this up, if we do cover tomorrow, I should ask y'all want to continue with this series tomorrow? Would you like to do the 50 Cent situation? If you want to continue with this series tomorrow, hit the 1. If you want to kind of take a leave of this at least for a couple of days, and we can focus on the 50 Cent situation, hit the 2. Okay, and based upon that, I'll decide whatever y'all want to do. I always give the people what you want. But Umar was he did an interview on a podcast, and from what I understand, it's a popular podcast. It's a younger brother that's on there, and I'm not seeing it in here in my 2025 folder for some reason. Now, give me 1 second. Yeah, it's not coming up. Let me see here. Maybe it's in my downloads folder. Yeah, here it is. Okay. In fact, let me just play. I see a lot of 2s. There's still some 1s in here too. You know, let's do a poll. That'd be easier, because that way I won't have to count all this. I don't know what I'm thinking. Can someone in the chat room remind me before we get up out of here? And we're only going to be here for another hour and 30 minutes. So if someone can remind me in the chat room, as we get a little further into the show, to do a poll on what we do tomorrow. Okay, because I want to keep this poll up here. The poll question for today, we already have 603 votes. Are you surprised that the FDMG school did not open in 2025? 6% said yes, 94% said no. And let me just break this down. I'm not surprised at all, because Umar said the school was going to open. I already showed the receipt in 2013, 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That's 13 years now. And then I have receipts that show that Umar has changed the dates, even though it's only been 13 years, roughly 26 times. Because there's some years where he says it's going to open August 21st, let's say, as an example. August 21st of 2020, but then he says we're going to open Kwanzaa of 2020, and then he said no, and then he'll say, oh no, we're going to do it in Black History Month of 2021, and then he'll say no, we're going to do it August 21st of 2021. You see what I'm saying? So there are some years where he actually gives different dates that it's going to open, and based upon my research, at bare minimum, it's like roughly 24, maybe 25. But I'll propose that, after I've gotten through all this stuff, because I haven't gotten through all the videos in terms of the note taking, that Umar's probably changed the date closer to 35 to 40 times over these 13 years. And it's because, again, some years he's given 4 different dates. He's a con man. He's a con man. So that's why I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that it didn't open, and it won't open in 2026. He doesn't have faculty or staff. He doesn't even have the money to be able to pay faculty and staff. See? Umar expects everything to be done for free. He done tricked off a lot of this money. Traveling. He was dealing with sex workers. Fun fact, over there in Africa. I have the receipts. We did that video. I couldn't even do the video here for everybody. I did that for members only. Anyone remember that? Hit the 0. That was wild. We went on one of them websites, and some of the shit that they were selling on that website from one of the women he was dealing with. I said, Lord Jesus is a fire. Some of that stuff wasn't holy. You know what I'm saying? I said, that P. Diddy. I said, P. Diddy get on that site. Yeah. P. Diddy was on that site all month. Okay. They were selling that African baby oil. Let me stop. They was selling. It was selling that African baby oil, family. That's crazy. All right. I'm just playing. Y'all don't be taking it serious. Okay. Yeah, it was crazy. I couldn't put that on here for everybody on YouTube. I could not do it. Shout out to Jonathan Kidd. He's in the building. The Sith Lord himself. I ain't seen him in a long time. Man jaw, yeah. Yeah, that story had a book called Let Me Stop. Let Me Stop. You remember that shark movie called Jaws? Yeah, they had a DVD called Man Jaws. I said, oh no. I said, oh no, don't do that. All right. Shout out to Lene. I can't wait till we get to Lene in this series. Okay. But again, someone remind me to change this poll so I can get the figures to see what we're gonna do for tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow, so I got some time. There's always something to do, even on my off days. Somebody's birthday, got all these kids. On somebody's birthday, somebody got to go somewhere. Somebody got to, All right. All right. So let me set this up. So this is the video. This is the young man right here. The audio quality is kind of poor, but from what I understand, the setup is nice though. He has a really nice setup. So shout out to this young man, and he's doing well, successful. I think he's an African brother. And this is from the 14th, so 3 days ago, and his name is Raoud or something to that effect. And no disrespect, because I don't know anything about him. I can just tell that he has charisma, but I don't think he has researched, and no disrespect, but I don't think he's researched Umar well enough to know who he has in his home at this time. There's so many other aspects of this too, besides Umar with the school scamming and exploiting Black people for decades now, giving horrible information and outdated information about ADHD and school psychology and giving advice to parents what they need to be doing with their children, even though, and Umar's not qualified, and he doesn't know what he's talking about, but he's a deadbeat at least three times over, just in Philadelphia alone, and he's a pookie, okay? That's why Umar be looking the way that he's looking. Anyway, this young brother, I don't think he's researched Umar well enough, and that's okay, because there's plenty of people who are still, how can I say this, unknowledgeable. I shouldn't say it that way. They're still under the allure of how Umar presents himself as some sort of a great Black leader and professional online, but that's just a role that Umar plays. He gets online and pretends to be a school psychologist. He pretends to be the most requested. He pretends to have his shit together. But the truth of the matter is that Umar, his whole life is a shit show. And I've done all the research. Okay. So I want to go to, and hopefully one day this brother will get enough information to realize the truth. You got to be very careful with who you're promoting and who your platform, but also who you have in your home. Okay. There's no fucking way that I would have Umar around anyone that I love. I wouldn't even have him around my own dog. Real talk. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. Let me go to the part right here. where Umar talks about the Diddy doc. Pause.
I want Aisha Curry to stop complaining in public about their religion.
See, he's always talking shit about black people. Look at Umar. Pookie ass. He tell you black people, don't y'all should be wearing the sports attire. He called it paraphernalia, which makes sense given this clown's smoking habits. This fucking Pookie. Y'all remember the Carter? Y'all go back and go watch that shit. Umar was up in there. It's a quick cut, though. You got to look for him. You'll see he's in that corner. Y'all, I'm saying, go back and go look. It's only about, I don't know, 1.5 seconds. They in the car, they flip that thing and they cut it. There's an editing. They just cut it to the main scene. But you see Umar back over there with them boxes and shit. Let me give an example because I have it right here. Y'all think I'm bullshit. Hold on. So y'all like, Leonard, you taking it too far. Oh, hold on. That's where they came up with the idea for Pookie. They said they was. There you go.
Strong alpha male. Send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes at gmail.com.
See, this right here. This is the part right here. It's real quick though in the movie. You have to pause the screen to see it. All right. 50, if you don't know, I know you ain't gonna watch this shit, but 50, if you don't know, matter of fact, 50, just post this shit. You ain't even got to say nothing else. Just post this shit on your X or your Instagram. That's all you got to do. This Umar in 2019, before he got evicted and been homeless ever since. He gonna talk about Keisha Curry, but then what you talking about? You know, collected millions of dollars homeless 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. Homeless for 6 fucking years. But he got everything to say about successful black people because he's a bum. Pookie ass. But look right here. 50 post this shit.
DMG resumes at gmail.com is what we looking for. My thing is y'all need to. What happened? I'm in the process of relocating to Wilmington, Delaware, so the apartment is a mess right now. Y'all don't need to see all that.
He never moved, too, by the way. He got evicted up out of here. I have the paperwork. It's called, they start the proceedings with what in Philadelphia, with what is called a, I can't get the terminology correct, but tenant owner complaint, something to that effect, or owner tenant complaint, something to that effect. Some of y'all have seen it. Black Anonymous, I've sent you the paperwork. I sent it to Lenon too. I will have it in the documentary. I'll have his address stuff redacted. He don't live there anymore, but I mean, legally I could put it up there. It wouldn't be considered to be doxing because it doesn't state. You can find all this information online anyway. It's public record. But see, Umar, he doxed my personal information with ill intent. He wanted his followers, his bitch ass followers, to come through and cause harm. Look, as long as you don't show up at my door, you can say whatever the fuck you want to online. You can go at my wife, like Dempsey Spears, who's now facing federal charges. Yeah, you can do that. You can go after my kids. You can talk reckless about my kids. All right, you can call me all kinds of names and lie and spin false narratives, do all that shit. Just don't show up at my door. But you see, I have enough compassion and I won't even dox Umar's. It's not even doxing because he don't live anymore. But I wouldn't even put out his old addresses, even though it's public record. Anyone can find it. If he never put out his phone number, I could find that. And I have his old phone numbers too, just like anyone could find my phone number. One time, Umar, he took a screenshot of a video that I did for someone who sent me, it was a younger person, late teens, early 20s, who was struggling with their sexuality. and they were looking for advice because there was a big issue with their parents and how their parents were treating them because of all this shit and just horrible. You know, your kids are your kids. I already told my kids, whatever it is, it don't make me no difference. I'm going to love you anyway. And that's real talk. And the question that they asked was, I'm struggling with my sexuality and I don't know what to do. Something to that effect. So what I did was, in response, well, trying to help the person out and give them some fatherly advice, is I titled the video, The Question, I'm struggling with my sexuality and blah, blah, blah. So what does Umar do with his, let me wash my mouth. What does Umar do? He takes a screenshot and posts it on his Instagram page and say, yeah, I don't remember what he said. He may not even say anything, but the idea was that I was the one that was saying that I was struggling with my sexuality. And I guess that I was gay or whatever. No, that wasn't the case. That's what I mean about spinning false narrative. You can take a clip of anything and make it appear to be something that it's not. And there's people that have done that with me many times, right? But I'm not going to do that to Umar. I'm not even going to put out his old address, even though I have it. Right. So the point that I'm getting at, to get back to the thing, is that Umar in this video, instead of owning up to his living conditions as a hoarder, Umar is a hoarder. Okay, that's tied to his mental health issues with the ADHD. He says ADHD doesn't exist, and yet I have him. It's in a documentary where he admits publicly in 2013 down in San Diego, California, northern Mexico, at the World Beach Center. Shout out to Makeda Dread, old family friend of my wife's too, by the way. And her mama, rest in peace, and her grandmama. I mean, her mama and her twin sister, rest in peace to her mama, my mother-in-law. He admits publicly that he struggled with ADHD his whole life. And he hasn't received the type of coping mechanism through therapy and what have you to be able to manage that. And that's why he's living in filth as a hoarder. And therefore, Umar, instead of owning up to it and holding himself accountable, even though he says we should hold other black men accountable, blah, 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 he's always talking shit about black men in particular, especially successful black men. He lies and says we're in the process of moving. First of all, who's we? But second of all, Umar never moved to Wilmington, Delaware, and he still hasn't moved. What happened? He got evicted from this residence, has been homeless ever since. At the end of 2019, you see him live streaming in hotel, motel rooms off of donation money because he don't have a job. And then by the time we get towards the end of 2020, and I have the exact date, but it'll be in the documentary, you see him living live streaming inside of a closet. This is right here.
Producer going once.
It's a real small space. I call it a closet. This is his mother's closet because he had moved into his mama's house by this point. In fact, he flips the phone again. Watch this. He's a hoarder. See this shit? Look.
Brother, I appreciate you. All right, now be blessed.
See this shit? Wall all dirty and shit. This is his mama's closet. And what this is, my best guess, it's a closet for the washer and dryer. Now, Lene was there. She explained how there is no washer and dryer. And yeah, well, that makes sense. And it corroborates what I've been telling people. It's a closet. It's like a side closet. And I've already looked at the floor plan for that building, Section 8 housing. Okay, you can find it. I have all that stuff. I'm not going to put that out there either. I wouldn't put out his mama's address either. Even though Umar live up there, he's taking over the whole second floor. Got his mama living downstairs in filth, and it's filthy upstairs too. But that's consistent with Umar. 2019, he gets evicted. 2020, he's living in and out of hotels, and by the end of 2020, he moves in with his mama as a quote unquote primary caretaker while he's traveling around the world and being a school psychologist at the same time, allegedly. Ain't no school psychologist. He don't even take care of his mama properly. We have a first-hand account of what was taking place to his mama and will continue to take place to his day. Umar pulled a gun out on one of his brothers who wanted to see the mama. Umar won't let nobody see the mama. She's his possession. He's a hoarder. How you gonna hoard your own mama? But got everything to say about Tasha Curry and everybody else. Umar, he a trip. You're going to speak on 50, but you only let your family members see your own mama and have her living in filth. So he flips the phone again. And look at the filth. There's a sack of potatoes in the bottom, my bottom right-hand corner. There's a tripod in the middle. And then if you look right to the right of the tripod, at least my right, you'll see a sack of potatoes. What kind of shit is this? See, this is where the washer and dryer should be. But Umar, he throw his shit in there because he had to move his shit someplace, right? Remember, look at where he flipped his phone. Look.
Alpha male, send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes.
See this? And from my understanding, this is the second floor of the apartment. There's a bathroom in there.
At gmail.com. FDMG.
On the second floor. From what I understand. Now, I'm going to verify that further before I put the documentary out. All right. But I looked at the floor plans. And from the records that I found of Umar in terms of him living there, and when they start the process of evicting him, he was the only one living there. Okay. So, and the reason I'm saying that is because as I research this further, it is possible that someone else was living there. Maybe they were on a different floor, but I don't think so. I think Umar was there living here by himself. And inevitably he hoarded shit in here because they were going to evict him from this same property back in 2010. But he resolved that. So you have at least from 2010 to 2009, towards the end of 2009, where Umar, he's hoarding shit. And this is what ended up happening. Look at this. I mean, there's shit packed up all up against the wall. Trash and shit all over the place. Look at this. This is just one room too, by the way. Right. And so Umar, he says he's in the process of moving. He never moved. What he did was he just he lived out in motels and hotel rooms for part of 2020. And then he moves into his mama's closet and he hoards there. So a lot of his shit he just took from his old apartment and he put inside of his mama's closet. But then also a lot of his shit he took and put it inside of these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. And I'll give you guys proof of that right now. Watch this. Here you go. Yeah, this is it right here.
Peace and love.
Okay, I'm going to pause this. If you guys look over there on It's My Right for 2025, this is the large gym. And if you look, a lot of his personal belongings are in here. See the books and stuff. He talked about how his books were vandalized. He's saying this in 2025, but this vandalism is old because if you look at this, the books are on the ground. There's paint on top of the books. And then there's a film of dust on top of shit. This stuff's been sitting in here for years. But he brings it out in 2025 because he was trying to get money out of people. He was saying how he has to get this cleaned up and get on your PayPal, etc. That's what Umar does. So this vandalism took place years ago, and this shit's been sitting in here since 2019. This is his personal shit. See, luggage. Damn, that looks like another TV back over there. Y'all see that shit? That looks like another big back TV back there. Anyone see that hit the one? Like if you look at the Frederick Douglass logo and look to the right of it, it could be a computer monitor though. But anyway, bookshelves. This is from his old apartment before he got evicted in 2009. So he just look at pictures and picture frames. See, Umar, he's been homeless. He's been homeless. He's still homeless to this day. See the dust on top of all this stuff? This is years old. Yeah, someone said they still donating. Yeah, that's what they're donating to. He's turned these abandoned buildings to his own personal store. This is all Umar shit. Now, there are some desks, and I always give Umar credit, that's associated with these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware from the J. Moore Academy. But what we're seeing here is Umar hoarding and just stacking shit inside of these abandoned buildings. If you look all the way in the back there, look at all that shit packed back there. Now, as to cross-reference, that's 2025. Look over there at 2019 with Brother Ron, who used to work at the Boys and Girls Club. He got fired fucking with Umar. Look behind him. That yellow, That shit ain't back there. Umar's a hoarder. He just transferred his hoarder ability from his apartment to these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware. And he did the same thing in the small gym too. Furthermore, look at the gym this is the large gym. Look at the gym in 2019. It's nice and clean. It's not perfect. I mean, there's still stuff that is graffiti and shit, but it's not dirty and filthy. There's not a film of dirt all over everything. It's deteriorated. 2019 to 2025. See all the shit back there? Look at 2025. Books. There's his luggage again. He comes around. Old computer speakers from like 1990s. Again, he's a hoarder. Those are them old ass what's called more home shit. You see his hats, his fitted hats up there in the corner. Look at his shoe, the red, black, and green shoe. I remember he posted that on his Instagram page many years ago. Well, this is shit that was in his apartment, and he just moves into these abandoned buildings. He's been sitting in there for years, half a decade. But then in 2025, he pretends as if all of a sudden there's vandalism. No, his vandalism is old, but also Umar, he exposes the fact that he's a hoarder and that he's turned these FDMG buildings into his own little personal storage, FDMG storage. See the shoe? None of that shit was in there in 2009. And then there you go. None of this shit was in there in 2019. Look right there. You see that big back TV? Okay, where did we see that before?
Alpha male, send those resumes in. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FDMG resumes at gmail.com. FD.
There we go, right back there. You see it? Look at the back. Yeah, Golden Child. What's up, man? Says a Prince of Pan vandalism. He's a hoarder. You see that big back TV? Them TVs is old too. I remember them TVs. I'm sure 50 remember them TVs.
Resume.
Listen, I'm gonna read. Someone remind me to repost this. I'm just gonna put this up there on my YouTube page. I should do it, and I'm just gonna put it on there. I'm gonna put it on there. 50 should repost this. Is that too petty? I shouldn't do that. I don't know. Should I do that? Yes or no? Let me know. Anyway, this shit here is a lot of this shit in this apartment. He transferred over to his mama's house, Section 8 housing, and then a lot of it he just put and stored inside of the gym. See, this is all his personal belongings. Bags of clothes. This all kinds of shit. I also have images of the small gym and what it used to look like versus Umar after he started storing stuff in there. Okay, for time's sake, I'm not going to pull that up, but I have those too. Someone said, do it. Swagonito said, do it. I'm going to do it then. I'm going to do it. If Swagonito said, do it, yeah, and then after I post, now I ain't going to tell everybody because I don't want to be trolling and stuff. And I don't want people to be like, yeah, but Lenon told us people on this YouTube page to do this. I never tell people to do that kind of stuff. I don't. I encourage people not to. If you want to, you can. But I don't do that because Umar, he's tried to weaponize, and I don't want to come off like that. He tried to weaponize his audience against me over the years, and I had to deal with some crazy shit. I remember one guy, he contacted one of my previous landlords. I have the message too. I could play it for you guys. He was like, yeah, Lenon has these views about the LGBTQ and he hates gays and blah, blah. Well, yeah, but you were the same one that said I was gay. What are you talking about? But this person called one of my old landlords and was trying to get me evicted, I guess, or kicked out. And I have it because my landlord, he contacted me and said, someone left this message, blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, I apologize. There's people that, and I explained Umar Johnson and his followers and the type of shit I've had to deal with as I've covered Umar. I've never done anything like that towards Umar. Never. And I wouldn't do that towards anybody. I just wouldn't do that. And they go on, and I don't think that he should be living there, and you should be letting him live there. But it's just a bunch of bullshit. I have it though. I was thinking about putting that in the documentary too. Anyway, the point is, I don't try to weaponize people and tell people to go at other people. And I could have done that many times with all the different people who have gone at me and lied about me and my family and stuff. But I just don't live my life like that. If you know, I'm going to put it up there, and if people want to do it, they can. That's up to y'all. Okay? But just don't say I told you to do it, because I ain't told you to do it. Now, I ain't going to play. I'm holding on, because there's a lot of stuff I'm holding on to, because even if at some point I want legally, if I wanted to pursue legal action, because it doesn't matter if you did it 5 years ago, whatever, I want to keep it under wraps. And at that time, the person that was involved in that stuff, they were destitute, but now they're doing a lot better. So if I wanted to at this point, because this makes no sense to file suit against someone who ain't got no money. It's like, what's the point? Right. But if they don't come up a little bit, then okay, maybe. Right. So that's why I've kept a lot of the stuff that I have. And then that same person that doxed my phone number too. And then I started getting messages, a text message, and a couple of phone calls too from people who were saying all kind of crazy stuff. It is what it is. It's part of the price that I've had to pay. But I'm not no victim, not at all. I recognize it as just part of all of it. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay, so I played the video of Umar with his hoarding situation, and this was back in 2019. I also played the video of Umar and his hoarding. The video that I played here, this is from 2023. So he had moved into his mama's place by this point. And then Umar gives the excuse that he needs to fold clothes. Okay, I won't play all that, but he needs to, no, this is not a folding clothes situation. You got a bag of potatoes up in here with oils and shit. This ain't got nothing to do with folding clothes. All right. But that's the excuse that Umar gives. Instead of holding himself accountable as a man, he makes excuses. Okay. And Umar has a history of that. And then I also played this video right here. And you can just see a side-by-side comparison of the large gym. And there's a huge difference. This Sharon right here. Okay. That's Tiff the Griff too. She used to go hard back in the day and spreading all types of lies and rumors about me back in the day too. But all is forgiven, you know. All is forgiven. Most of these people aren't around anymore. This lady right here, she's a doctor of something. I can't remember what, but she's not. I don't think she's supportive of Umar anymore either. If she ever want to come on and to be interviewed, I would love to have her on. But a lot of these women, they're not around. This is Brother Round right here. Yeah, a lot of these women, they're not around anymore. A lot of these people aren't around anymore because Umar, he's a user and abuser. He gets money out of people. He exploits a lot of black women for sex, and then he bounces. That's why he got all these baby mamas. Anyway, and don't pay his child support. Don't even take care of his kids. Got everything to say about everybody else except 50. All right. So here's that sequence right here. That boy, we got blowed off. Right here.
And then they said 6ix9ine said he allegedly spent time with Aisha Curry alone without Steph knowledge. You know, I'm going to say I don't believe that. Right. I'm going to give the sister the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know nothing about it.
6ix9ine is lying because, you know, if Steph Curry find out 6ix9ine tapped his queen, he might have to leave her.
See, he shouldn't.
You don't go from Steph Curry to 6ix9ine. No disrespect to 6ix9ine. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping everything is everything. But you know, she got to stop complaining.
I've never heard that. That's what got me crying.
You hear about that? Yeah, 6ix9ine.
I heard about Aisha, but not 6ix9ine.
Takashi.
Yeah, I know.
He was on some interview, and they said something about what celebrities you've been with, and he said Aisha Curry. He could have been joking.
What the?
Or you know, something like that. Allegedly, you know what I mean?
Something like that.
But I'm hoping that's not the case.
No,
I'm hoping that's not the case.
It's ass, but it worked. Yeah, super ass. Damn, that is crazy. Yo, we just watched the Diddy documentary. What did you think about that?
I saw the Diddy documentary. Here's what I'm going to say about the Diddy documentary. And this is not about 50 Cent as a person. It's about us as a people.
Okay.
No, it is about, it is about 50 Cent as a person because that's why he's saying using 50 cents. It's a form of clout chasing, but it's also a form of cowardice. See, Umar, he'll do that. Oftentimes, he'll say something positive about a successful. And listen, 50's widely successful, even beyond the rap thing. I didn't really listen to 50, and I really wasn't deep into hip hop. Like I was into Tupac back in the day, early hip hop. I was into like LL Cool J and Lottie Dottie, we like to party. We don't, or, you know, that back then, you know, but then later on, it was like Tupac. I'm from the West Coast, Southern California, Tupac, Snoop Dogg, 50. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm just playing. Snoop Dogg, you know, then other people too, like back in the day, Run DMC. But by the time you know, 50 blew up, I wasn't really listening like that. I mean, the Tupac, but that's because I was from the West Coast. And Ice Cube, I used to listen to a lot of Ice Cube back in the day, and Chronic, you know, Dr. Dre and stuff. But see, what Umar does is he goes after successful Black people. And when I do the poll later, if you guys decide that tomorrow we'll cover this particular issue right here with the 50 Cent situation, we'll put together a list during the live stream of all of the Black people. And we've done it in the past, but the Black people that Umar Johnson has criticized and attacked online. And he has a history of that. As part of it is clout chasing. But then the other thing is that Umar, because he's a perpetual failure in his own personal life, he has to pretend to be all these great things. I'm the most requested, I'm King Kong, all this other shit. But he's a homeless bum. He's been homeless since 2019. He's a con man. He's a scam artist. He's a baby mama creator. Don't take care of his kids. The point is that Umar, what he does is he'll preface his disrespect. And he says it's not personal and it's not about 50. No, it is about 50 and it is personal. But he's a coward too. He wants to frame it in such a way to where it doesn't come off as if he's going at 50. No, you're going at 50. Stand on business. See, you'll say, I'm going to stand on business. But see, if you stand on business, then you stand on business. Umar, if you want to come up on this live stream right now and try to defend yourself, you're welcome to do so. See, I can say what I say, but I'm not going to cower on this shit because I know what I'm saying. It's in the first place, it's fact-based. But secondly, the truth is the truth. You're welcome to come on this platform anytime and debate me. If you want to debate on your baby mama situation and you want to debate on the FDMG, that's really what the real issue is, you con man. You want to debate about your mama situation and you living off of your mama at the age of 51? What kind of man? But Umar has a history of this. He don't want to stand on business. He says it's not personal. It is personal. It's personal towards 50.
For people, young people, they don't know how to get started,
right.
But I want to stream. I don't know how to get started. I want to code. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to get started. I want to get into AI. I don't know how to get started. Mm-hmm. I want to develop my own video game. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And they come to you, right?
Oh, this is the wrong part. I was about to say, because he don't know nothing about any of that. This guy's telling people to get a typewriter. I kid you not. Telling people who graduate from high school that when they type in their letter to the college to make sure you have your typewriter. I said, what?
Ew, that's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, are you in there?
LeBron James, they never do nothing like that. So, you know.
Yeah, see him taking shots at LeBron James. Isn't it fascinating that Umar, he'll take shots at LeBron James in 2025, but the reason why is jealousy because LeBron James actually has a school with his name, but Umar, he has abandoned buildings he's collected millions of dollars for, and we're almost 7 years after he acquired these trap bandos, and there's not one room renovated. He said back in 2010 that the school was going to open September 11, 2013. But let me show you all something else. Let me show you how scandalous and trifling and bitch-made Umar is. See, he'll go after LeBron. See, I've done my research. Some of y'all gonna trip off of this. Watch this. So we're in 2025. Umar has done whole videos criticizing LeBron James, so forth and so on. But it has more to do with his jealousy of successful Black men. Barack Obama, 50, LeBron James. More recently, what's the D.L. Hughley? Shannon Sharp. Yeah, I know Shannon Sharp been fucking up. I get it. but that's this. He has a long history of this. Deion Sanders. He was real reckless talk about Deion. And not only does he go at these successful Black men, he'll go after their kids. That's what he did with LeBron James' son. Y'all remember that? Because LeBron James' son took a white young lady to the prom, and Umar got everything to say. Meanwhile, Umar don't even take care of his own kids. He's been a deadbeat. His daughter came out and exposed him. We're going to get into that. But you see in 2025, 2024, 2023, 2020, Umar, he takes shots at LeBron James just like he did right there. But let's go back in time. Let's look at the receipts, what the receipts show. This go back to 2013. Notice Umar, when he debuts in Akron, Ohio, shout out to Akron, shout out to Ohio peoples, December 2013 at the Second Baptist Church, he'll post the image of LeBron James and say, bow down. Let me show you how devious Umar is. Critical thinking. Why would Umar post this in 2013? Well, he would do this and uses this picture of LeBron from when LeBron was really, really young, because Umar is going to debut in Akron, Ohio, and LeBron James is from Akron, Ohio. So what Umar's conniving, trifling ass does is he clout chases off LeBron because LeBron is from Akron, Ohio. And what this does is it causes people who are from Akron to be supportive of Umar, because Umar is saying bow down to LeBron James. And Umar knows, clout chasing, that LeBron James has big pull in Akron, Ohio, and of course around the world. Furthermore, Umar, he's going to be speaking at the Second Baptist Church, but he's always talking shit about the black church. One time he was on this, he was being interviewed by this brother who, it was a Christian radio show, and Umar called him a coon and a nigger. That's what Umar said. Hit the one. Because the brother was challenging Umar on some of the Umar's talking points, and Umar couldn't handle it, so he called him a coon and a nigger. You see the clout chase? He posted different images. These are just two. There was more. I've done my research. Dr. Umar debuts in Akron, Ohio, Sunday, December 15th at 11 a.m., Second Baptist Church, 690 Main Street, Black Ohio Psychoacademic Holocaust book release and power lecture. And he uses a picture of LeBron, who looks, I don't know, he could be what, 5 or 6? So what's changed? He'll use LeBron for clout, just like he's using 50 for clout in 2025. He'll use LeBron for clout way back in, what was it, 2013? But in 2025, now LeBron James is who he is, in my opinion, the second greatest basketball player of all time, who has a school in his name. Umar now chastises and criticizes and demeans LeBron James over and over and over again. It's one of the over the years. He's gone at LeBron James many different times. But what's changed? Well, what's changed is that LeBron James, he's widely successful and he has an actual school. Umar does not. But Umar's an extremely jealous individual, extremely jealous, especially of successful black people. Yeah, Estevaris, exactly. Let's get back to it.
You black like that.
Right.
How
old is you?
I'm around that age.
You're in it.
You don't want to say, see, Umar, and I haven't watched this video. Maybe we need to do it tomorrow. Umar doesn't want to say how old he is because he's trying to appeal to the younger audience. Umar's 51. He was born August 1st of 1974. That's all in the documentary. He doesn't want to tell people how old he is. And that's another reason why Umar, he tries to dress younger. Okay, he really dresses like he's from the 90s and shit. He's 51 fucking years old. But he also dyes his beard. It's grayed out. He dyes his hair. He wants to appeal to the younger crowd. And part of the reason why is that in 2025, older people are more and more older people. They realize what Umar is. She's a charlatan. He's a con man. He don't take care of his kids. He's a deadbeat. Not going on and on and on. Check this out.
The two most interesting thing about the wifey resumes is most of them have come from women under the age of 35.
Cut it out, Umar.
I'm very shocked. I thought most of them would come from women between 35 and 50. No.
Oh no, Dr. Umar.
Most of the women are from 20.
Look at this crazy ass. This guy, he crazier than a mother boy. Look at him. and just be lying. Yeah, look at his eyes. But see, this is him trying to appeal to the younger demographic. In fact, Umar impregnated a young lady. She was in her early 20s. He was in his early 40s. This kind of a person we're dealing with right here. He's predatory. So that's why a lot of what he's doing these days is he's trying to appeal to younger audiences, because a lot of the older folk, we realize who he is.
25 to 35.
Look, he's crazy than a motherfucker. I don't know what people be thinking. Just look at this motherfucker. Crazy motherfucker, boy. I don't know what else to tell y'all. Umar is batshit crazy. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Paul Mooney said cat fit. This guy is cat shit crazy. You ever seen a cat take a shit? This is what the cat looked like. Dogs too. The dogs, they be taking that. You know how they be looking at you and shit. They be taking the shit. They start. I told my dog, I said, "What the fuck you looking at me for?" What? It was serious. I was offended by that because he was handling his business. That's nature. All right. But you ain't gotta be when I'm taking shit, I don't be trying to look at nobody. All right. Anyway, it's what they look like. Okay. This guy is cat shit crazy. He is. He crazier than a mofo. Let's keep going. Here we go.
Some of you.
You don't like that, or is it just?
No, this is some bullshit right here.
I don't want to go under 30 at all.
Okay.
I don't want to go into 30 at all. Umar, if you don't cut it out, you're such a big goofy. I can't remember what year this video was from. It was. I can't remember. It's after the paint, when they painted the inside of this gym. That's the quote of the year right there. I don't want to go under 30 at all. Umar, he crazy. This guy is cat shit crazy. Shout out to Swagglito.
And I'd rather not go under 35.
Oh, Umar, cut it out.
But I would consider
He's talking all serious.
low 30s.
What? You don't even have own. Listen, Umar doesn't even own his own car. He don't even have his own place. He got at least 3 baby mamas in Philly alone. See, now listen. 50 probably got a couple baby mamas. I don't know how many. He probably got a couple of them. But this guy is a multi-millionaire successful. He can handle the business, right? Umar, he got at least 3 just in Philadelphia alone and don't got a job. Don't even have a legitimate business or a job in a legitimate business. And ain't taking care of not one of his kids. That's a double negative, but you guys understand what I'm saying. And on top of that, he cat shit crazy. Look at him.
Okay.
I don't think I can consider 29 and under.
So about 30.
The person who's interviewing is probably young. That's why he's doing this. This reminds me when he was trying to, you remember Maria? When he was trying to get at Maria, the Latina young lady? He was like, now, if you and I was married, what the fuck you talking about? I should pull that shit up. Just show you how tribal. He's such a predatory. He be trying to groom these young people. She was young too. She was cute. My son, I've been like, yeah, Maria, come on, I have a son. Because I'll be trying to hook my sons up and stuff. Well, one of them. The other one, he needs to calm down. Anyway, we ain't gonna get to that right now. I told my wife, I said, yeah, he's doing too much. And she says, well, but oh yeah, all right. Anyway, I should pull up that video for Maria just to give another example. I'm gonna assume that this young lady who's interviewing him is younger. That's why he's talking like this.
It's like the max.
30 is the absolute minimum.
Okay.
Right? So I'm surprised at the age, but I interpret that to mean that there's not a lot of young brothers for our young serious sisters. You follow me? If I'm getting all these white
No, that's ridiculous.
resumes from 25 to 30,
Yeah, I got to get this whole video. I don't know if I have it, but I no, I can get it. I can get it though. Yeah, I can get it. Anyway, this is just Umar grooming this young lady, but you see how he's talking. But here's another example of what I was talking about earlier.
For my daughter. And she may expose me on one of these podcasts one day and say, Daddy, you're the reason I can't find good black love because you never validated me as a woman.
Oh my gosh, so you're fancy, huh?
Yeah, black
Oh, I'm
community
sorry.
activist. Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, Umar, he ends up getting exposed by his daughter in 2025. We'll be getting into that during the next video for this series. Yeah, I really want to pull up the Maria thing, but let's keep going here. All right, maybe I'll still pull it up. We got time. Okay, we got about an hour.
Around that age.
You know how old I am?
But it was almost impossible. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, it's hard.
We got a large range of
Right? Duke
yeah.
Blue Devils, and they repeated.
Yeah.
And the game was in Philly. It was Duke versus Kentucky.
Yeah.
And Christian Laettner hit that turnaround miracle jump shot over.
Yeah, I remember that too. I watched that game live back in the day. Then people thought Christian Laettner was a shit, but then he came into the NBA. He was average at best.
Jamal Mashburn, and that's how they made it back to the Final Four from the
Jamal Mashburn. That was one of my favorite players when he got into the league. Yep.
spectrum in Philly.
Yeah.
But it was almost impossible. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, it's hard to repeat.
Yeah, there was a situation with Jamal Mashburn and who was it? Jason Kidd and another player too with Tony Braxton or something like that. It was crazy.
Right.
History is not on the side of the repeat.
What would you say probability is for us to repeat? Less than 20?
Not less than. I'm gonna give Philly 40% chance to repeat.
40%. I like that, bro.
I'm hoping it's higher, but being realistic, 40
Okay.
right now. Let's see how they finish these last couple.
Yeah, let me let this
Right.
play.
That explains a lot. Cannot stand Duke. That's Hafiza. Yo, we got a large range of like people in chat. By the way,
What you mean?
Like
Give me some
age,
demographics.
just age gap. So like Hafiza is over the age of 35. You
Okay.
feel me? So we got like, so her saying like she hate Duke is like maybe she, I don't know, maybe she saw that game. I don't
No,
know.
yeah, that was just a childhood thing for me because at the time I was Muslim,
Yeah.
and Duke starting center, Allah Abdel Nabi, he was a Muslim, and that's how I ended up Duke.
Yeah, that sound like some Muslim.
You know what I mean? But Grant Hill is probably my favorite college player.
Yeah, shout out to Brian.
Rasheed Wallace has
He
been
was
my
great.
favorite NBA player though.
Okay, Rasheed Wallace. I don't even
Rasheed
know them
Wallace from
niggas,
Philly.
bro.
Yeah, one time he said that Rasheed Wallace was the greatest power forward of all time. I said, if you don't cut it out, but that's because he's from Philly. Umar trying to, you know. Anyway, Rasheed Wallace was one of my, he's got gang of technicals, but he's one of my favorite players back in the day. Let me do some of these super chats. Seth says, and all of those wifey resumes are from women who expect Umar to take care of them, but Umar is looking for women to take care of him. Absolutely, that's what this dynamic is. In fact, even him living with his mama, he's also in charge. He's in control of her finances too. He's her primary caretaker. So he's living off his mama with the Section 8, but also he's in control of her finances too. And then he doesn't allow anyone else to see his mother, including family members. Just like, and she's bedridden. She can't get up and walk around. Shout out to Lene. There's a video from 2024, I believe, where Umar, it might have been this year. Shit, it might have been this year, but I think it was 2024, towards the end of 2024 that we covered. Where Umar's talking about how, you know, he needs two women and blah, blah, blah. But the way that he was talking about what these women were going to do for him was as if it was a mama taking care of a little boy. You need a woman that's going to wipe your mouth. And I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Wipe drool off you? What the fuck are you, a toddler? And cook for you and blah, man. Now my wife cooks. She don't cook as much as she used to, but she cooks. She'll bring me a plate, but I've earned that shit. I went all out for her birthday party. We had a great time too. We went to Ethiopian food, and she went and got her and one of my other daughters. They went and got their nails done, the hands and the feet. Got her a gang of gifts and a cake. She didn't expect a cake, but I got her one anyway. Yeah, we had a great time. Anyway, the point is the way that Umar talks about women, his quote unquote queens, is like mamas taking care of their little sons. But that's what Umar, he's like a little child. He's in their state of arrested development. He don't take care of himself. He don't know how to take care of himself. Again, no car, no job, 51 years old, living off his mama, Section 8 housing. And so the people are going to say, well, then why you keep bringing up Section 8 housing? Well, what the fuck? It's not an indictment against the mama. She's bedridden. She's wheelchair bound. That's not an indictment against the mama. It's an indictment against Umar, because Umar's collected and continues to collect money to this day, millions of dollars for a school that does not exist, and he's been homeless since 2019. That's the problem. And then see, think about this. Umar tells black people that we shouldn't be dealing with the white man and we shouldn't be dependent on the white man, but Umar's dependent on the white man because his housing is Section 8 fucking housing. His tax exempt status, that's dependency on the quote unquote white man, according to Umar. See, he'll go into a deal with the government to get that tax exempt status so that all the money that he's collected is not subject to taxation, even though he's using it for his own personal benefit. But then he tells black people, you know, I don't want to take any money from white people and we shouldn't be dependent on white people. We need to build black wealth and we need to do it together and we don't need to be going outside the community. Well, Section 8, that's government, Umar. Tax exempt status is government, Umar. And when you get these rental cars, when you have your own car, your own vehicle at the age of 51 years old, which is crazy, you go into a black-owned car rental place, when you out eating all the time on donation money that you got from black people that you're not even paying taxes on because of the tax exempt status you got from the quote unquote white man. These restaurants that you go into, are they all black owned? When you eating out or when you sitting up in hotel motel rooms that are not owned by black people using donation money from black people and you ordering out? Grubhub, DoorDash. I bet your DoorDash bill for a year tens of thousands of dollars. I guarantee it. Donation money. Anyway, thanks, Seth, for the super chat. Diedrich became a new member. Thank you so much, Diedrich. I have hundreds of videos on Umar for members only, and then also the first, I want to say 6 or 7. Let's just go with 6 segments of the documentary that I'm working on Umar, the rough drafts. They're available for members only as well. Thank you so much. And the past, we done live streams for members only the past 3 Saturdays. We won't do this this Saturday because I didn't have time. I had my wife's birthday party. But I'm going to be taking some time off from work. I got some time off for the holidays too, and I'll get back into the editing of that documentary. Thanks, Dedrick. For Garfield tune. What Garfield? What are you talking about, Garfield? I don't know SH Play. What are you talking about? That's with a cat. Okay, maybe you're talking about the cat shit crazy. Okay, what's up, SH Play? Perfect. And thanks for that. Perfect pitch says magic school bus button up. Yeah, that's Umar. So someone sent me an AI of the magic school bus for FDMG. I should play it for y'all, but I would have to look for it. Okay, it's crazy. Thank you, Perfect Pitch. Also, there's a video that Jay Witt did, Jay Witt podcast, where he actually went up there. And there's a school bus, there's a bus over on the side, and the battery, they done took the battery out the bus. I kid you not, I should pull it up and play it for you all. Anyway, thanks, Perfect Pitch. YouTube says, I'm Asian, but in high school, I was into Tupac and Wu-Tang. Yeah, I used to listen to Wu-Tang. Also, I was into like I can't remember what that Mob Deep, and there was another one too. I can't remember the name right now. I just can't remember. It was such a long time ago. Yeah, but Tupac, he had global appeal. Thank you, user 225. Broccoli says Umar has a new post where he's begging 50 to work with him on documentaries. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and then I'm going to do a poll a little bit later on to close out the show to see if you guys want to cover that tomorrow. We can just focus on that tomorrow, even though we're kind of focusing on it now. But we can do a full live stream on it, and then we'll pick back up with this series probably on Monday. Okay, Anyway, we'll see. So someone please remind me as we get closer. Actually, I only got about 45 minutes. I should have started earlier. Thanks, Brooklyn, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Nobody exposes Umar like the Pookie that he is better than you. Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier. Diddy has been how 50 has been to Diddy. That's how I've been to Umar. No Diddy, pause. I'm just saying in terms of the expose and that type of thing. That's what I've been doing with Umar for years. Just not on the same level as someone as 50, but that's what I've been doing for years. And I have all the receipts. I can pull stuff up over and over and over again. I have the Mary. He was trying to groom Mary, the Latina young lady, up at these abandoned buildings. That was in 2023. And I haven't pulled up, but I don't think we're gonna have time to get into them. Thanks, Miss Vernica, for and I hope Vernica or Vernica. I apologize for the super chat. I appreciate it. Perfect Pitch also says, I bet this geezer weirdo doesn't know what detergent is. Deodorant either. Sauteed funk. The thing is that Umar, he's not cleanly, right? He doesn't groom himself properly. He just doesn't. He's not hygienic. He doesn't take care of himself in that way, and he's filthy. He's a hoarder, and that tends to be the case anyway with people who have that mental disorder. Like legitimately, he has that disorder. Again, he's turned these abandoned buildings, the gyms, into his own storage space, and it's a lot of old shit that he doesn't have. It serves no purpose. There's no purpose to keep no big back TV like that. That's not no smart TV. Okay, there's no reason unless you like to hold on to things. And Lene, when she went and was able to see Umar's living conditions in his mama's house, Section 8 housing, and how his mother was living, and Umar's supposed to be the primary caretaker, it just reinforced what I've been saying about Umar for years now, that he's a hoarder. And he's filthy. He doesn't take care of himself. What he does is that when he gets online or when he's interviewed, he cleans himself up. He'll get a haircut. You know, he'll bathe. I'm sorry to say it. He'll bathe. You know, he'll dye his hair. You know, his beard, so he looks younger. And he pretends to be something that he's not. A school psychologist, a doctor of psychology, which means nothing. Again, just because you have a degree in something doesn't mean that you're actually participating professionally to that capacity as would it be indicative of that degree. Well, that's Umar's case. So he gets online and pretends to be all of these things. But in the real world, Umar, he's just a bum from Philly. That's all it comes down to. Right? But people, they believe he's all these other things because for decades now, he's been misrepresenting himself as this great Pan-African black leader, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He's none of those things. Thank you, Perfect Pitch. He's even told people that you know, he talks as if the school exists. No, these are abandoned buildings. Okay. Thanks, Perfect Pitch. Sean says, do you know that Umar Johnson posted your full name and address online? Yeah, he's done that. He's posted my full name and address. He's posted this year, he posted my wife's email address and told his followers to go at my wife, and they did. And I had to tell my wife, I said, and she's been through all of this. She already knows what the deal is. She knows what kind of person Umar is. Like I said, just don't show up at my door. That's all I'm saying. And don't come around my kids and don't come around my wife. I don't give a fuck who you, and I'm not about all that tough. I'm not all about that, but I know what my limitation is, right? So Umar, he posted that, and that was his way to try to get people to attack my wife. And they sent my wife emails. I just archived them. I just kept, and I said, listen, when you get these, don't read them. Just put them in this folder. I set up a folder for her on her email account, and then she just put them right. In fact, I told her if you get an email, just don't even open it. Just let me know, and then she would, and I would just take it and I would put it inside that folder. I would read it and then put it in that folder. Don't go into that folder. And another one would come. I would do, and another one come. I would do the same thing. Just holding on to this for future reference. So Umar has a history of this type of thing. It's not uncommon, and he's done it with me. He's done it with other people too. It just goes to show you how bitch made he is. Umar's a bitch. He's always been what we used to call people like Umar back in the day. He's marshmallow. He's a punk. That's what we used to call him. He's a sissy. That's what Umar is. Thanks, Sean. Oh, I can't believe you're talking like that. Yeah, well, don't get it twisted. Yeah, don't get it twisted. I'm real cool and real peaceful. You know, I'm not thuggish, but I don't play no games when it comes to my family either. Okay, I'm just checking, make sure. One of my kids, my wife, texted me. Thanks, Sean, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Okay. Heartbreaker from the Bronx says, Lenon, if I were to have that FDMG property, all the buildings, I would have made it into an apartment complex or mansion from the ground up. There's a lot of things that Umar could have done with those properties. Now, those properties are they're classified as light industrial. So in terms of residential space, he would have to convert. There would be a lot of conversion, a lot of paperwork in order to convert that so that the zoning would apply to where it could be a residential. It's doable. Again, there's paperwork and hoops that he would have to jump through, and it would have to be approved by the city too. I don't know if they would do that with those properties. Again, those properties are on were classified as brownfield catalyst sites. So I don't even know if that even if he went through that process that the city would grant that, the changing of zoning. Because the EPA in 2019 classified these abandoned buildings as brownfield catalyst sites. But there's a lot of things that Umar could have done. He could have just focused. He could have just focused on one side of the street and not purchased the other side, and used the money that he spent for the whole property, which is around $400,000, and put all of that into all the money into one side of the street, and then maybe set the gym up and just do after school programs, or let's say a sports league, basketball, and then build a reputation out there in Wilmington, Delaware, with the community out there, and with the Boys and Girls Club, which is right across the street. But he doesn't do any of that. It's almost 7 years. Can you all believe that? No. Am I right? 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Wait, 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, in February of 2026, which is in about 2 months, less than 2 months, it's going to be 7 years. He hasn't done anything. Not one after school program, not a turkey drive, not a backpack drive for the kids up over there, not a shoe drive or a Thanksgiving or Christmas tours and nothing like that. He's done nothing. He hasn't done anything with the buildings either. They've just been sitting. And when it comes to business and when it comes to property, if you're going to take money and buy these properties, you need to have a quick turnaround so that you can generate profit from these properties. But Umar hasn't done it. What he's done is he's wasted money over the years. Almost 7 years of wasted money. Taxes for what? Not one black child been educated. Getting the grass cut every once in a while for what? Not one black child been educated. It's a waste of money. Faking like he's renovating for what? Not one black child been educated. Getting an HVAC for allegedly $50,000 for what? There's no children up in there. You guys see what I'm saying? Painting the exterior kinda with old paint for the from the J Moyer Academy for what? Not one black child been educated. Painted on the inside looks horrible in there too. This guy, he's painting rooms lime green and shit. What kind of man paints a? Let me stop. Right, but this is called a burn rate. This is just wasted money. Bills that accumulate, the water bill, the electric bill for what? Not one black child been educated. And who's paying for that? You donors are paying for it. How much money has Umar put into this? Not a dime. Not in all the years that I've researched Umar, I've never heard Umar say, this is how much of my personal money I've invested into this scam. He's been living off of the people and spending y'all money and wasting y'all's money over the years. I'll dare say that outside of the purchase price, which is around, he says more, but around $400,000, I would say that Umar has wasted, just by having these abandoned buildings for the last 7 years, over $1 million. It's well over $1 million. Just wasted money. For what though? Not one black child been educated. So there's a lot of things he could have done with these buildings. He could have turned it into an event space where he's giving lectures and so forth and so on, and people from Philly come out because it's right down the street, figuratively speaking. People from other cities and on the East Coast can come out and he have this. But Umar, he's not an organizer. Umar doesn't know how to organize. Again, it's the ADHD, but he's a hoarder too. He's disorganized. He's disheveled. He doesn't even know how to manage his own personal life. How's he going to even put together an event? He's never put together one event. Now, I know people argue, well, Umar, he put together those block parties. No, black women put together those block parties. He had them come out and they put that shit together. That's more wasted money because not one black child's been educated in almost 7 years. Anyway, there's all kinds of things he could have done. Thank you for Super Chat. No Conditions, a documentary parody on the DC Squatter. Use the ABC 7 News audio, but the FDMG visuals. This would bring heavy traffic to your channel. I think I don't know what JS. You younger, you probably younger. I don't be knowing all of that stuff. Just lying. Just saying. Okay, Lyle, I got you. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the DC squatter, but I'll write it down and I'll go check it out. Yeah, there's a lot of different scammers out there. I'll focus on Umar. I really don't have time like I would like. I got 5 kids, and just dealing with that is a lot. I got my wife, and then I have my job, my day job. So I don't have time really to get into other things. And Umar, there's so much to cover dealing with Umar that it's virtually impossible for me to get into other content. But I'll look into it at the very least. Okay, thank you. No contender for super chat. Miranda says, Lenon, you've been playing, but your name is getting big in these Umar streets, so don't be surprised if one of 50 Cent's assistants contact you. Yeah, well, the thing is that if they ever did any information with Umar, I would provide it. That goes for anyone else. Behind the scenes, I've sent a lot of people information, even people who've got just kind of getting started into the Umar content. I've been at it for years. And if they ask for certain videos, I'll send it, or sometimes I'll just send them something that I think that they would be interested in. The main thing I tell people is make sure you do your research. The thing is, when I finish the documentary, there'll be enough research, because I've already done all the research, most of it. Most is going to be needed, but there'll be enough research that's going to be shown in the documentary dealing with Umar to where people can watch that, and that could be an excellent primer to get started. And they'll have everything that they need to get started. And then if they want to do ancillary research and get deeper into it, they can go forward. But if people over the years, I've done my best to share information with people. When they ask for certain things, I'll send it to them. If that ever happened, where 50 Cent or some of the sense says, well, listen, we need information about Umar, blah, 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 I will send it to him. No, that's no big deal. Yeah. Thank you, Miranda, for being a member for 8 months. Heartbreaker says, Umar's room, though, what in the world? Yeah, that was that. And he had been living there from at least 2010, because that's when they started the eviction process back then. And that correlates to when he wasn't working consistently. The money wasn't coming in. He had that interview with Dawa in 2010. He posted in 2010 that the school's going to open September 11, 2013. And that's when he was making this transition away from working as a school psychologist intermittently. And what that means is he wasn't working consistently. He would work here, he would work there, then he wouldn't work. And you can look at his child support docket and you'll see it. Generic order, generic order, generic order. They were trying to do the rage garnishment thing. And then at certain points, you can tell that they were trying to figure out where in his child support docket where Umar was working. And then they couldn't find it. Well, that's because he wasn't working, right? So the point is that he lived there, and because he wasn't working consistently, financially, things got more and more difficult for him to where he couldn't pay rent back in 2019 consistently. In 2010. And it wasn't a lot either. I'll have all this other document. And then by the time, so what happens is 2019, Umar, he starts collecting money for FDMG. So there's money coming in, but he's mismanaging money. And at a certain point, financially stuff gets worse and worse. You would think that things get better. I'm gonna tell you why things got worse, because that's the money put Umar in a position to where he can indulge in things that he could not before consistently indulge. And that also includes with the substance abuse. And you can track this. You can look at Umar and his behavior. Have videos where he goes off screen and he's sniffing on shit. Then he comes back on the infamous turn the heat down video. He's let me go turn this heat down. He goes off screen and you hear him snorting and shit. Then he comes back and we know what time it is. I have a video where Umar was up there, and no disrespect to Manny, but Manny had substance abuse issue. Rest in peace to brother Manny. No disrespect whatsoever, because he was a good dude. Just because you got substance abuse issues don't make you a bad person. Real talk. Now you could turn you into one. I grew up around that shit, so I know. But the point is that it don't automatically make you a bad person. This life don't work that way. It's more complex than that. But they was up there, Umar and Manny, and they was up there in these abandoned buildings, blazing it up. Real talk. I got the video. See, Umar was live streaming. He didn't realize he was live streaming. He was telling the business. I have a video where the plug comes through. Umar's outside. We covered it. The day before yesterday? Umar's outside his abandoned building. There ain't shit going on, but he's talking. He's, for whatever reason, he's talking. It's cold out there, and he's waiting. And you can see in the back of behind him the door going into these trap bandos, and the plug comes out the bandos. Just walks out. And then Umar ends the live real quick because he had to go get that stuff. So what happens is Umar, in the next video, he's frantic. It's like, what's going on with this guy? He's all pacing and walking quick. He's walking through the buildings, talking fast and shit. And it was like, what's going on? And then he goes to the door. I can't get in. I'm locked out. Locked out. Why? Well, what's the point? He said, I'm locked out of the teachers now. First of all, there's no teachers. But if you want to call the teachers now, what's the big deal? Why you got to get into that room? Well, that was the drop-off spot for the plug. And the plug accidentally locked the door. Umar gets his ass up in there and can't get in. He start going crazy, just like the dope fiends do. Hit the one. I got so many examples of this guy. So what happened with Umar was when that money started coming in, it allowed him to indulge more and more. And that's why I've been telling you Umar Johnson donors for years. And I'm not saying it's your fault, but I've been telling y'all for years that what you've done is enabled Umar to self-destruct. It ain't about helping black people. It's not about helping black boys or educating black boys, because that shit ain't happening. It's about Umar and his indulgence. Listen, it's not just the turning of the heat down, as we say. It's also him getting in a position to where he can sexually exploit all these women all around the world. And if people cool with that, you cool with that. But, you know, if you're supposed to be this black leader, it's just ridiculous, in my opinion. It also shows a lack of intelligence, because Umar's always in some mess dealing with strippers and shit. He always got some drama going on with women. The conscious stripper, Zora. Okay, Lenon exposed him big time. List goes on and on. See, but the point is that Umar's room, when he flipped that phone, is indicative of his life. It was messy, and Umar's messy. Thank you, Heartbreak. Ms. Vernica says Umar will get his karma for the crap that he's done. Yeah, I also think that he's already received quite a bit of it, and I'm here to help facilitate that. That's all. Nothing personal. I don't have animosity towards Umar. I state facts. I know I goof off and clown him too, but I state facts. It's to me, Umar, he has karma, and there's karma that he has already received, and there's karma that I'm helping to facilitate. And see, that's the thing. If he wouldn't be talking all that crazy, try to punk me. I was the wrong one to punk. Anybody that know me, no, I don't play that shit. I'm real cool. But don't try to punk me. I don't give a fuck who you think you are. I'm not the one. See, I have a strong sense of justice. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Right? But I'm not no victim either. Okay, but I'm helping to facilitate that karma. But there's much more to come. Same thing with these people who've gone at me and lied about me, lied about my wife, lied about my kids, so forth and so on, making up all these fake narratives. They've received karma. They're receiving karma. And for some of them, there's a whole lot more to go. For some of them, rest in peace. Real talk. Look at Dempsey Spears, where he's at. 9-count indictment. Federal. His career is over. He about to lose even more, because he's going to have a very difficult time even keeping his home. I've already done the research. He's going to have a very difficult time keeping his home, because of him trying to scam the government out of $4 million Medicaid fraud. I think it was 1.2 that was paid out. Identity theft, aggravated identity theft, and he was billing using other people's psychologists or therapists' information. He was billing dead people. People didn't even exist, and he was online the whole time lying about me. And I had so much grace for that Black Yoda looking. He looked like Black Yoda. You guys remember, not only did I have grace for him, I still do, but I was patient, and I wasn't petty, and I let him do what he did, and I didn't respond. But look at where he's at today. And I have a saying: one by one. I ain't got to do shit, because right is wrong, and right is right and wrong is wrong, and karma is undefeated. Okay? Real talk. Okay, did I get to everyone? Yeah, we only got about 30 more minutes here, so I'll get to whatever else I can, and then I got to be up out here. But we'll get back here tomorrow. I need to set up this other poll so I can get y'all's to see what we're gonna do for tomorrow. Okay, thanks, Seth, again. Thanks everyone for all the super chats. Dedrick became a member again. Thank you, a member. Thank you so much. SH places. So Umar was Christian, then Muslim. What is he now? Okay, Umar's mother, Christian. She called him. She calls him the devil. Hit the one. That goes to show you. I mean, I don't know what else people got. Anytime a Christian calls somebody a devil, and a real Christian, you know it's a problem. But if it's your own son, you got a problem. No, she called him Satan, but she calls him Blackie as well. I don't mean to laugh, but damn. Look at all the ones in here. See, I interviewed Umar's, well, of course, Lene. She has a lot of personal information because she dealt with Umar personally, but then also I interviewed his nephew. If there's other family members that want to come forward and talk with me, you can always contact me and I'll vet you first. I already researched all of his family, so I have information on his family too that I haven't put out there. Now, I have put out information about his daddy because his daddy's a bugaboo. His daddy was talking shit. And his daddy shouldn't have came out to go at Umar. That's your son. You don't do that. You don't do that online. But his daddy his daddy Jamal used to come onto my platform. You know, he'd be running his mouth and talking shit and going on other platforms and you know, just ridiculous. You too old for that shit. Nobody give a fuck about what you got to say about nothing. You should have kept your fucking mouth closed, as I said. And I'm not talking about me. You can say whatever you want to about, but about Umar, you shouldn't have done that because that's your son. And see, Jamal was a deadbeat too. But then on the back end, he wanted to clout chase on his own son once Umar blow up. He wasn't saying shit about Umar before that, but once Umar blow up, he gonna go at Umar and talk shit about his own son online. And see, because he didn't establish a loving relationship with his son, he didn't have the avenue to go and talk with his son directly, but you take it to the internet, that's some punk shit. And I don't care how old you are, it don't make no difference. A father's supposed to operate like a father. But he never did. That's one of the reasons Umar the way that he is. No excuses though. A lot of us, our daddies wasn't shit, but that don't mean that we gotta be, we gonna get up and you know, anyway, you guys get my point. So Umar's mama was Christian. Jamal, his daddy was Muslim, Sunni, but then he converted to another form. I can't remember. There was a time he said he was gonna be with the Dr. York and that thing too. He brought that up. His grandmama was Jehovah's Witness. And I believe that grandmama is Jamal's mama. Rest in peace to her. And then his uncle was a 5%er, Nation of Gods and Earths. So Umar in part was raised Christian, but then let me go look at my timeline. His daddy was Muslim and changed Umar's name because Umar's original name was Jermaine Shoemake. His mama named him Jermaine after Jermaine Jackson because that was one of her favorite singers from the Jackson 5. Shout out to Jackson 5. But somewhere in and around 1981, 1982, Umar was 7 or 8. Jamal marries Umar's mama, Barbara. And in 1982, at the age of 8, around 1982 at the age of 8, Umar is renamed, Jermaine Shoemake, Umar's original name, he's renamed Umar Rashad Ibn Abdullah Johnson. Okay, so again, his father was a practicing Muslim, so he had that too. These days, what is he now? He's a practitioner of Ifa. Yeah. He's a practitioner of Ifa. And I've had Umar on record where he gives when he converted, when he was no longer a Muslim, but he's given different dates over the years. So I'm not quite. I have him in 2005 at the age of 31 saying he leaves Islam and he also leaves the UNIA. But I've heard him say other dates too, so I'm not quite sure. I also have him saying that he became an Ifa devotee and he's renamed Ifa Tunde back in 2001 at the age of 27. He didn't go to Africa, though, however, until 2000. When did he resign? Yeah, 2005. 2005. Yeah. Because he puts in his letter of resignation in 2005. And that same year he went to Africa. I'll cover all this inside the documentary because that's in and around the time I'm at in the documentary. I still got about 20 years to cover of Umar's life. Anyway, the research there is just part of continuing to write the script and getting the videos. I have all the videos, but in terms of putting the videos in the timeline and continue to work through it, but one day at a time. So these days, he's an Ifa devotee. Okay? Thank you, SH Play, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Dr. Nadia says, Lenon, check your email. Okay, I'll check it right now. Yeah, thank you for the super chat as well. I normally I should be checking it during the live stream because people be sending me stuff while I'm live streaming. Okay. Yeah, people sent me all kinds. Somebody sent me a chat, a Sora of Umar the werewolf. Y'all, come on. All right, let me pull it up. I don't mean to be petty. Now this is 50 time. Okay, I'm turning to 50 because 50 he don't play. Let me pull this one up. Maybe I shouldn't pull this up because I haven't watched it yet. It might come up with some P Diddy shit on here. I don't know. It might be some P Diddy on this video. Okay, I'll trust y'all. Let me pull it up. All right, here we go.
Do it again. Always acting like he everybody's teacher.
Remember, collaboration makes the dream work.
Nah.
Not today.
Boy, this is crazy. Y'all be taking it. Why y'all got me looking like that? Does that look like me? If it look like me, hit the one. Listen, yeah, it is a little petty, but come on, y'all got me looking like a nerd and shit. Got a belt on and shit. I do have a shirt that look like that, though. I ain't gonna lie. It's that color. It's that color. Y'all be hating on me so bad. Damn. Y'all be hating on me so bad, and it's consistent too. You guys see that? And I'll tell you, sometimes I don't even be wanting to live stream. I like, you know what? I ain't gonna get here because they're gonna be talking so much shit about me. Y'all laughing. I get off of these live streams, so my self-esteem is low and shit. Yeah, it's a Wolf of Wilmington.
Let's do it again. Always acting like he everybody's teacher.
Remember, collaboration makes the dream work.
Nah.
Not today.
Y'all taking it too far. Don't do that. That's too far. People sent me some other ones that are crazy. One of these days, well, let me stop because we only got about 22 minutes. I meant to start earlier. I might get on here real early tomorrow because we got to get caught up on stuff. Someone sent me this one right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring from Lagos to the world, weighing in at 249 pounds, Big Effie Tunde.
The network is live, baby. Big Effie in the building.
And his opponent.
From the cookie jar you keep hitting on the top shelf.
They got a Cookie Crush chat character now. Okay. There's other emails people send me. I'll go through these real quick while we keep going here. We're worried. We got blowed off big time, but that's what we do. That's what we do. Real quick. Okay, thank you, Dr. Nene. Let me do these other two real quick. KK says, all Umar wants is a kick his spot. I've heard him talk about a grand opening party more than curriculum. Yeah, he doesn't have a curriculum. He doesn't. Because there was a couple of years ago, he was telling people, send him ideas on a curriculum. That's crazy. If the school was supposed to open in 2013, wouldn't you have a curriculum by now? See, he's not serious about opening up a school. See, Umar doesn't even have the ability to sit down and organize things. He doesn't. This is in my research, Umar's not an organizer. He doesn't have that skill set. His mind just doesn't work that way. He's an idea guy. He's throwing out all kinds of crazy shit. We're going to teach the boys how to float ships and how to fly airplanes. One time he said, I kid you not, I don't have the video, so y'all have to take my word for it. I'm always fair. I don't be lying on Umar. He said that the kids, when you come to visit them, because originally it was supposed to be a boarding school, he said that when you come to visit them, you fly in, and then when you get to the airport, your child's going to pick you up in a helicopter and fly you to the school. So that would mean that the school had a helipad too. My kid just batshit crazy. He said they're going to build an observatory up on the roof of these buildings in Wilmington, Delaware, so that we can see the surface of planets. I mean, this guy, he's come up, he said a vegan sports bar, a non-alcoholic, 3 levels. The first, there's going to be a level, where you can sit back and watch videos and read books. No, sit back and watch videos. Another level where you can read books, and another level where you can get food. Who's paying for all that? The list goes on. He done come up with so much crazy shit, but he never completes anything. He never fulfills his promises, and a promise that goes unfulfilled is nothing more than a lie. I said that when I first started doing Umar videos. I think that was the title of the first video, when I started doing them consistently. So the point is that Umar, he's an idea guy. See, you can have an idea about a curriculum, but ultimately you have to produce a curriculum. Umar, he thinks about all these things he's going to do. We can put together a whole list of crazy shit that he says he's going to do. Let's do it. Go on in the chat room. But he never, nothing ever comes into fruition. See, and again, I give him credit because the Black Party was good. It was good. The first one in particular, it was good. I always give Umar credit when he does good. But he didn't organize that. It was Black women that came in and organized that, right? He might as well open the FDMG Pan African Social Club. Well, the thing is, KK, is the idea of the, he also said he was going to have a museum, an FDMG museum. He said we're going to have an FDMG cemetery. He said we're going to have an FDMG farm. I kid you not. In fact, he said that they were going to go and dig up the bodies. I kid you not. They were going to go and dig up the bodies of dead Black people that are well known and rebury them there at FDMG in the FDMG cemetery. This is the kind of shit that he say. And that he was going to have a FDMG farm and it's going to be pigs and horses and cows, Black pigs. He said, because it has to be Black, right? He said Black pigs. He can't do the white pigs. The pink pigs, no. White pigs, no. The green ones, no. Red, no. They have to be the Black ones. That's Umar. So the African Social Club, well, listen, that's the idea. There was supposed to be a social type thing, a Black vegan sports bar, non-alcoholic social. You can kick it up there and hang out, blah, blah, blah. Right? Thanks, KK. But he's an idea guy. He never brings anything to fruition. Again, he said it was a documentary. His documentary was supposed to premiere in 2000, what did I say, 2014? I pulled it up earlier. Okay, we're in 2025. There's still no documentary. He was collecting money for it. Now, the documentaries that I did on Umar, I didn't collect the dime. The documentary I'm doing now, which is expansive, I can't tell how many hours I've done in research, editing, so forth and so on, and asked for a dime. The Umar's collected money for this documentary all the way from 2000, it was really 2013 when he first started talking about it, all the way through 2022, and there's still no, he called it a shockumentary. He still hasn't produced it. Because he's an idea guy. He takes the money for these ideas, but he never produces anything. He takes the money for the idea of FDMG, the school, but he never produced anything. People say that there's a school. There's no fucking school. Cut it out. These are abandoned buildings. A school, go look it up. Just go up on the Google and type it. Go to dictionaryfucking.com and type in what is a school, or just type it in the AI. What is a school? Or go look up the definition. It's a place of learning. Not one Black child has been educated. So it's not a place of learning. So therefore, it's not a school. You see the logic stream there? It's that simple. So you're delusional when you say it's a school. Umar says we do have schools. No, these ain't no fucking school. Going up there again. Brother Jay went up there recently and showed these trap bandos. Do I need to play that before we get up out of here? We got 16 minutes. I can pull that up, and that'll be it for tonight. Y'all let me pull up one, and then we get back to it tomorrow. Let me go do this poll thing so we can figure out what we're gonna do tomorrow. Thanks, KK, for the super chat. SH Play says, I won't be specific, but I remember how personal those attacks were against you. They were way out of bounds. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that was way out of bounds. There were people who were contacting CPS saying that I don't know what the thing was that they were saying about my wife and that we were doing to our children, but none of that's true. Whatever it was. I mean, yeah, it's just so unnecessary. See, we've never hit our kids or nothing like that. Again, I used to get beat. You know, we get what they call spankings back in the day. You can't get away with that shit these days. Because they got social media. I'm going to whoop your ass. Okay, let me get on Instagram. Let me get my, okay, I got Snapchat running, Dad. I got, you're like, oh shit, never mind. Your kids. But back in the day, we didn't have that shit. Y'all remember that? Go, you get your ass beat. Ain't nobody know about it but you, and you can't do nothing about it. These days with social media, boy, you can't get it. Anyway, I don't know what they were saying, but they called CPS trying to cause harm to my family. They were saying that we were committing. Dempsey Spears was promoting a lot of that shit too. That we were committing Medicare fraud. Yeah, but see, the truth is that during that time period, Dempsey Spears, he's the one that was committing Medicare. A lot of it was projecting. He was the one committing Medicare fraud. He got a 9-count indictment with the feds right now. He will probably be doing some time. I told the best thing you should do is just plead out that shit. Okay. In fact, there was a woman. I was thinking about this the other day. I just couldn't find the receipt, but I thought I ran into it. I just saw it yesterday. Every time I want to pull that up, I can't find it. Yeah, I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, I'll let it go. Yeah, a lot of that stuff was out of bounds. I can give you guys stories after stories. The people were calling my job, trying to get me fired from it. That's why I can't say nothing about the job I'm at now, because the people call up there, like not that I would get fired, but it's just not a good look. I can't say nothing. I don't even talk about my family all that much. I don't post pictures anymore. Again, I'm not no victim. I don't want to come off like that, but I've had to deal with all kind of bullshit. But that's just the cost of doing what I'm doing in terms of bringing justice with this Umar Johnson shit. Thanks, SH Play, for a super chat. Okay. Yeah, okay. So what was it? Let's end out with this, because I only got about 13 minutes and the video's not that long. I'm gonna pull up a recent video of. I don't know if we got to the 50 Cent part right piece right. Let me play the rest of this right here, and then let me go pull up this other video. We'll up out of here.
Rasheed Wallace won the championship with Detroit back in 04.
No.
Yeah, let me go grab this video.
Damn, I'm young.
Yeah.
Yo, Zar. Yo, Zazar. I'm over 50. It goes way back. Oh yeah, Hafiz over 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Peace and love, Hafiz.
How old is you?
I'm around that age.
You're in
he don't want to say how old he is. He's 51. He's 51.
21.
I'm 31.
No, you're not.
No, fake.
Wow.
Okay, all right.
21.
I'm 22.
Wow, this. Oh, I was about to say this guy. Look, I said, shit. What the? You got the elixir of life or some shit? No, he's a young brother. All right, good for him too. He's doing really good. Okay? I always like to see the young people doing good. It's just he don't know about Umar. That's all. And one day he'll figure it out. That's okay. That's all right. Okay.
What you read on that? I got the 31.
No, Ben Wallace was a great defensive player. Ben Wallace was not a great offensive player.
Yeah,
Rasheed Wallace was a great defensive player and offensive player. Yeah, Rasheed Wallace is one of the few power forwards who could go toe-to-toe with Shaq in terms of points and rebounds. If you look at when he was with the
Okay, don't exaggerate the shit, Umar. This guy, boy, sometimes he be saying shit, but again, Rasheed Wallace, he's from Philly, so Umar got to go extra. But don't do that. Don't do that, Umar. This guy, it's just a bunch of bullshit with this guy. Listen, when Shaq in his prime, including when they lost the Detroit, they lost Detroit Pistons. It had more to do with the internal infighting than anything else. Let's be real about that shit. Shaq in his prime, could nobody deal with him. And it don't matter. Listen, if you put Shaq in modern day NBA in his prime, could nobody deal with him. Cut it out, Umar. Detroit it was a defensive specialist team, right? So it's not that Ben Wallace alone. No, listen, they would switch, they would double team, triple team. So don't act like, come on, Umar, cut it out. Ridiculous. See, I'm gonna tell y'all something. People don't give Shaq his proper due. They really don't, and they talk because of his free throws. A lot of people don't like him because of the Kobe situation. I'm a Laker fan. I went through all that stuff, but no, y'all don't get it twisted. Okay, you could put Shaq in any era, and he would, in his prime, he would destroy everybody. So Umar, cut it out. Just ridiculous. I've been wanting to do a show on sports for a long time. Shit, I just ain't got no time. I've been praying too. I've been pressing, Lord, if you can make my life where I'm not always running and doing stuff, and I can do more online, I can work on music and work more on videos and do my editing and all this stuff. Please bless me. But I got 5 kids and a wife, so hey, here's what it is. Okay, here we go.
Portland Trailblazers, and it was going up against Shaq and Kobe. Yeah, his numbers was almost identical to Shaq. There's only
you are out of you know what? Because let me go fact check this shit.
A few power forwards who could do that.
Right.
Charles Barkley, Tim Duncan, Karl Malone, right?
Yeah.
Rasheed was one of them, but Rasheed never got his props from the NBA because he wasn't a kiss ass like Allen Iverson. Yeah. You feel me? They was kind of mistreated. Yeah. Carmelo too. I think the reason.
What did he just say? We're gonna have to do this whole video.
How old is he?
I'm around that age. Player and offensive player. Rasheed Wallace is one of the few power forwards who could go toe-to-toe with Shaq.
Okay, Shaq averaged 30 and 12. Shaquille's averages against Detroit. Umar's so full of shit. Pistons in finals. Okay. No, it's just right here. It's only showing. Well, let me see here. Okay, he averaged 34 points, 29 points, 14, 36, and 20. So 26.6 points, 10.8 rebounds, 1.6 assists. Again, he didn't have well, I mean, it's still good, but not dominant. So field goal percentage was 63%. Free throws was 49, deplorable, but that's to be expected with Shaq. All right, and then let me go look at Rasheed Wallace, because maybe Umar's right. Rasheed Wallace against Lakers in finals. I should put averages. Okay, he averaged Umar, you be lying. Just be lying. He averaged 13 points, 7.8 rebounds, 1.4 assists. It's not comparable, Umar. Field goal percentage was 45%. He scored 14, 11, 3, 26, and 11. Umar, cut it out. Umar, this guy, he lies so much. Anyway, you're a sports. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a sports show for a long time. If I had time, I would do it, even if it was just like once a week or twice a week, whatever. But anyway, Umar, he don't know what he's talking about. He just be making up shit. That's what he does.
In terms of points and rebounds, if you look at when he was with the Portland Trail Blazers and they was going up against Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah. No, I've been praying on it. I really have. I've been praying on it strong because I was talking to my wife today. I haven't slept right for the last two and a half years. I kid you not. I haven't slept right because the way that my work schedule is. Very rarely do I get 8 hours straight. I can't remember the last time. Very rarely. And that's not good at my age, but it is what it is. I ain't complaining, but I've been praying on it. I really have. I have ideas for skits and stuff. It's called the LenonHonor Show. I've been working on that script writing for a couple of years now. You know, I've invested in the equipment, not the equipment yet, but the costumes and all this stuff. I just have not had the time. But if the good Lord blesses me to be put in that position, it'll be good for my health. But also, I think it'll be a lot of enjoyment. I think. Okay, it's an idea. But we will have to wait and see. Okay, as they say, God is faithful. Right. In the meantime, I do what I got to do. Yeah, I know. I know. It's true. It's true. And I've been telling myself, I got to get on that treadmill because I need to lose some pounds, and I got to do better with all that stuff. Anyway, one day at a time. Okay, I can stretch this out for another 10 minutes. Okay, maybe 15. I don't want to leave y'all. I love y'all. But I already had something else scheduled I got to get to. Anyway, let me go back to this video, right? And what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, the J. Let me go pull that up. Let me let this play. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
His numbers was almost identical to Shaq. There's only a few power forwards who could do.
Okay, that's not true, Umar. We just proven that. Tavares talked about it too.
Right.
Charles Barkley, Tim Duncan, Karl Malone, right?
Yeah.
Rasheed was one of them, but Rasheed never got his props from the NBA because he wasn't a kiss ass like Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about, Allen Iverson? This guy is reckless. I can't believe he's talking crazy like this. Listen, it could be argued that nobody got the level of criticism more than Allen Iverson, save for LeBron James. Because back when Allen Iverson, social media wasn't like it is today. But I'm just talking about at that time, Umar, I mean, what is it? Why are you talking crazy and reckless about Allen Iverson? He played for Philly. Boy, listen, that's so disrespectful, Umar. Ain't nobody went through. Listen, I'm telling you guys, I know my sports. I know my sports. See, and I've been blessed because I got to watch Magic. I got to watch Kareem at the end of his career. I got to watch Larry Bird. I got to watch Jordan. I was a huge Jordan fan. I got to watch Shaq. I got to watch Kobe. I got to watch LeBron. I got to watch Allen Iverson, and Allen Iverson was huge. And he got so much criticism, mainly because of how he looked. He broke the mold and he set the stage. He was a revolutionary in this sense. He was like, fuck all that. He's Umar, because they wanted people to dress a certain way. No. He coming with the cornrows. I used to have cornrows back then. I wish I could find a picture of that. You women see me when I was young like that. You be like, damn. Y'all the poetic justice. With all my heart, I love you, baby. And let's go back to that time period. I had cornrows. In part because Allen Iverson had corn, but I also had family members that was gangbanging and shit that had the cornrows. You know what I'm saying? Trying to kick it, but not really. But Allen Iverson, he broke the mold. He set the stage to where there are things that modern day NBA players take for granted that back in the day they didn't allow, including tattoos. Now look at the NBA players now. They got it all tatted up. They wear, they come in, dress how they, but back in the day, it wasn't like that. But see, Allen Iverson, all the criticism, all the hate that he got, and he stood strong and changed the league because of it. But Umar got to talk shit. I don't get it. I don't know why he talking shit about Allen Iverson.
You feel me? They was kind of mistreated.
Yeah.
Carmelo too. I think the reason Carmelo Anthony doesn't get that.
Maybe he's saying that Allen Iverson is not a kiss ass. Maybe that's what he's saying.
Player and offensive player. Rasheed Wallace is one of the few power forwards who could go toe to toe with Shaq in terms of points and rebounds. If you look at when he was with the Portland Trail Blazers and they was going up against Shaq and Kobe, his numbers was almost identical to Shaq. There's only a few power forwards who could do that.
Right.
Charles Barkley, Tim Duncan, Karl Malone, right?
Yeah.
Rasheed was one of them, but Rasheed.
Even in their prime, though, in Shaq's prime, none of those players were comparable. Cut it out, Umar. It's ridiculous.
Never got his props from the NBA because he wasn't a kiss ass like Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
You feel me? They was kind of mistreated.
Okay.
Carmelo, too.
Real quick.
I think the reason Carmelo Anthony.
Let me take this back. I think what Umar, it's just the way he says it. And I'm always fair, so I will correct myself live if I have to. And I don't have this ego to where I say, no, I'm always right. That's not the case. But I just want to take a moment. I take this back and I apologize. I think what Umar is saying that Allen Iverson was not a kiss ass, and so he was treated poorly. Okay, which I totally agree. And Umar is right there. I stand corrected. Okay. By the way, I always have to say this. It goes to show you that I'm not here to lie on Umar misrepresents. It's just I misinterpreted it. That's my fault. I hold myself accountable for that. I issue this retraction and an apology. I apologize. Umar was right about that statement about Allen Iverson. I just misinterpreted. Okay, that goes to show you that it's about integrity, and I'm not here to lie on the guy or misrepresent the facts. Okay.
He doesn't get that love that he wants as well is because he wasn't a kiss ass. When Freddie Gray was murdered by the police in Baltimore, Carmelo Anthony showed up and marched with the people in the streets.
Ew, that's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, right, he in there.
LeBron James, they never do nothing like that. So
see him taking shots at LeBron James. LeBron James, one of the main reasons why he's received so much hate, and a lot of it is unfounded too. No, I've never seen anything like it. Okay? That's why if I ever did a show on talking about sports, I would address this issue too. Why all the hate? Because of the decision. A lot of that is media driven. Stephen A. Smith talked a lot of shit about all that. But see, if Stephen A. Smith, I think it was a jealousy thing. If Stephen A. Smith got that interview and he was the one that sat down and for the announcement, he would have been promoting it. He would be still defending it to this day. But because he didn't get it, I think it was a jealousy thing. But they blow that shit out of proportion and make it seem as if LeBron James is this bad guy. LeBron James has been carrying this fucking league for decades, for over a decade. Real talk. And there's no heir apparent either, by the way. So why does Umar take shots? Well, he takes shots out of jealousy, and he's always attacking successful black athletes, successful black rappers, successful black entertainers, actors, so forth and so on. It's a jealousy thing more and a clout chase more than anything else.
So when you black like that,
right?
You know what I mean?
How you feel about Curry?
Steph Curry.
You can just bring it up. Fuck that table.
I like Steph Curry. I want Aisha Curry to stop complaining about their relationship.
What's up with her?
And then they said 6ix9ine said he allegedly spent time with Aisha Curry alone without Steph's knowledge. I'm going to say I don't believe that. Right. I'm going to give the sister the benefit of the doubt and say 6ix9ine is lying because, if Steph Curry find out 6ix9ine tapped his queen, he might have to leave her. Because you don't go from Steph Curry to 6ix9ine. No disrespect to 6ix9ine. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping everything is everything. But she got to stop complaining.
I've never heard that. That's what got me crying.
You hear about that? Yeah, 6ix9ine.
I heard about Aisha, but not 6ix9ine.
Takashi.
Yeah, I don't think
he was on some interview, and they said something about what celebrities you've been with, and he said I don't think I've ever heard of Tekashi 6ix9ine, but I'm older anyway. I know who he is, but I never listened to his songs. It's like my kids, they be listening to stuff. A lot of kids, my kids be listening to the old stuff too, though. They're like from the 80s and 70s and shit. So one of my sons, he listens to everything. Even the music they be screaming, that the white people, they be screaming and shit. I said, what do you listen to? What do you listen to? What in the world? Yeah, well, Dad, I just listened to it for the analytical. I want to analyze this because I said, all right, whatever. And one of my sons, he there's this one guy that passed away. I can't remember his name right now. Something textation or extictation or something like that. My son was real big into him, and he's real popular with the younger people. I've never listened to him, but my sons be listening. And they be talking about him too. I guess that's their Tupac or whatever. Anyway, one of my kids, he be listening to some of the music. One of my sons, I said, "What is this?" All right. Anyway, Curry, he could have been joking.
What the?
Or
yeah, that's who it is.
Something like that. Allegedly.
Yeah, extension or something like that. I apologize. Rest in peace. No disrespect. It's just that I'm older, so I don't know. But there's a lot of younger people that they listen to this guy right here. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah, it's sad. Some of this stuff is sad.
You know what I mean? But I'm hoping that's not the case.
No, it's all.
I'm hoping that's not the case.
It's ass, but it's super ass. Dan, that is crazy. Yo,
I got 5 minutes.
Just watched the Diddy documentary. What did you think about that?
I saw the Diddy documentary. Here's what I'm going to say about the Diddy documentary. And this is not about 50 Cent as a person. It's about us as a people.
Okay.
Let me just say that up front.
Yeah.
No, it is about
I am bothered by the fact, and I have no problem with black people holding black people accountable. Right? But
I think I know what you're about to say because I said it.
But I'm having a problem with black people needing to expose black people that in-depthly.
Yeah.
But you never expose white people who do things to black people.
See, this is diversionary, but the other thing is that he says that in-depthly because he knows my documentary is coming down the pipeline. And he's afraid of it. But I'm not going to lie on him. Like I said, if I misinterpret something and I realize it, I apologize. I issue a retraction, and it's to hold integrity, and I keep it moving. There's been times where I misinterpreted something that he said, and I didn't realize until after the live stream, and I come back after to the next live stream, and I apologize, issue a retraction. I've always been fair, hit the one. So Umar, he's fearful, but it's not because he's fearful that I'm going to misinterpret things. He's fearful that I'm going to tell the absolute truth. And I'm going to show, but really he's going to tell it because I'm just documenting it. Hit the one. I've always been, what's up, HB? I've always been that way. So that's why Umar, he uses that phrase so in-depth because he recognizes that I'm going all in and he's fearful. And that's why he's doing shit like this, where he's posting timelines on his Instagram page so that he can, at least what he's really doing is he's putting stuff on here that makes him appear to be great and he's successful and all these accomplishments that he's done because he wants that in the documentary that I'm doing on him. Now, Umar, I always give you credit. You don't have to do all this shit. You ain't got to do all this. It's not necessary. Okay, you don't even have to listen. Someday we're going to do a video on this. We're going to go through this and I'll show you where he's lying based upon my research and verifiable, where he's telling the truth. And then there'll be stuff on here where he's just self-aggrandizing. He wants that footage of the documentary to make himself appear to be better. Listen, Umar, I'm going to give you credit for the good that you've done, but also you have to deal with the truth. And most of what you've done is on some bullshit. And that's what you're afraid of. That's why he's using that terminology. All right, I got 4 more minutes. Here we go.
The Roman Catholic Church has taken advantage of way more children than
See, this is all deflection.
R. Kelly allegedly did.
Right.
Are you following me?
I'm following.
See, he's always defends the abusers. R. Kelly, P. Diddy, Bill Cosby, etc. He always does that.
Jeffrey Epstein has taken advantage of way more women than Sean Combs allegedly did.
Right.
But where is the documentary on Epstein by black people?
There's already documentaries that have been done by white people on Epstein. See, that's another thing I don't think Umar understands. That in general, that's the way that that's the way that it works. That black people tend to do documentaries on black people, like I'm doing on your ass, Umar. And then white people or other groups, they do documentaries on the white people. Now, does it mean that black people can't do that? No, some of we doing on white people too. But why deflect in that way? See, this is just Umar trying to take shots at 50. This is Umar deflecting away from these abusers, and it's also a way for Umar to clout chase. Okay, let me put this poll up right now.
Here's the documentary on the Roman Catholic Church excesses on black people. You see what I'm saying? So to me, the 50 Cent documentary, again, respect the 50, no issues there. It is an example of self-hatred disguised as community.
Isn't that interesting? He says no, he's acting like it's not a shot at 50, but it is a shot at 50. Real quick, the poll question: are you surprised that FDMG did not open in 2025? 94% said no, 6% said yes. We had over 1,000 votes. If at any point you enjoyed this show, make sure you hit that like button too. I forgot to mention that. I'm going to throw up one more poll. If you guys can vote on this real quick, because I have about 3 minutes here. We're not even going to have time to do a closeout song. Let me put up one more poll right quick. And if you guys can vote right away, I'd appreciate it. The poll question is, what do you want to cover tomorrow? Now, I may come in early. Some of y'all probably ain't going to, because I'm off tomorrow. Some of y'all probably ain't going to be able to make it for the early part of the show. What do you want to cover tomorrow? We'll put 50 Cent. Let's put Umar Johnson's shot at 50 Cent, or continue with the series that we're working on now, or continue with the 2025 video review of Umar Johnson. Okay, if you guys can vote real quick, everybody, as many as possible, so that I can figure out what we're going to do for tomorrow. Okay, I got 2 minutes here. Okay, the poll is now up. Okay, let's get some votes in there so that I can get an idea of what y'all want to do tomorrow. Let me finish up with this.
Service. You see how that go? It looks like community service.
Quit touching the young man.
No, it's not. That's self-hate.
I said that.
Because we never do that to
No, it is community service. And what I'm doing on Umar's community service too, it's just Umar, he doesn't want to get exposed.
white folks.
Right.
We got a whole list of white folks who've been hurting us. Why we never done no documentaries on these killer cops?
Let me be clear about something. I used to do documentaries on plenty of white people, especially when I was in the conspiracy theory paradigm. Okay. Plenty of them. Anyway.
Why has there never been a documentary on Trayvon Martin's killer? There's never been a documentary.
Listen, why don't you do this shit, Umar? See this? Where's your documentary, your shockumentary at anyway? Why don't you do the shit?
On Michael Brown's killer.
Why don't you do one?
There's never been a documentary on Tamir Rice's killer.
Why don't you do one, Umar? See, you always want black people to do stuff that, and then he don't do it. You want black people to open up schools. He don't do it. You want black people to do documentaries, but where's his documentary?
There's never been a documentary on Breonna Taylor's killer.
Why don't you do it? And now, let's not bring up when you was clout chasing on Breonna Taylor and was running your mouth on stage and lost your voice, sound like a Sith Lord.
There's never been a documentary on Amir Locke killer.
Man, shut up.
See what I'm saying? I can keep going. Sonia Massey's killer, Sonia Bland's killer, but we'll do a 4-part series on Puff. We'll do an 8-part series on.
Quit touching the young man, you goofy.
On R. Kelly. Where is the 8-part series on the Roman Catholic Church, Jeffrey Epstein, and all these other ones?
And to say that.
There are documentaries on all that, Umar.
Harvey Weinstein didn't even get an 8-part series.
To say that.
There's been documentaries on Harvey Weinstein too, Umar.
Yes, he's talking about from us.
From us.
Yeah, but that's besides the point. I've already explained that in general, what takes place is that black people tend to do documentaries on what they know about. And in particular, when it comes to black people, we tend to know more about black people and we tend to follow people's careers, black people, so forth and so on. So that's how, in general, that's how it works. Same thing with white people. Same thing with Asian people who do documentaries on other Asian people. Now, yeah, there's people that do a cross, they'll do, I get that too. But why deflect in this way? You know, it's great that this documentary on Diddy, and there's plenty of other people that documented on Diddy too, by the way. We didn't hear Umar talking about that. TMZ did a gang of them. Or they did, you know, yeah, they didn't do gang of them, but they did a different part series or whatever. I didn't watch or whatever. But you guys see my point? This is just deflection.
Because he's talking about self-hatred.
From us.
Because somebody said there is an FC from us.
From us.
Okay.
Well, then why don't you do it, Umar? If it's that important. See, the thing is, you don't hear these white scammers online talking about that's Umar. When we're done, you don't see these white scammers online who are afraid of being exposed. Because this documentary I'm doing on Umar is a full expose. You don't hear these white scam artists saying, well, you know, this white guy, he did this documentary on me, but you know, why don't they ever do documentaries on black people? See this shit? All right, you cut it out. All right, so let me check this poll. What do you want to cover tomorrow? There's over 100 votes already. I know we don't get many votes because I just put this up. 56 said Umar Johnson shot at 50, 44% continue with the 2025 video. Okay, I'm going to close this out when we get done. And based upon this, that's what we'll do tomorrow. And then whatever the case may be, we're going to pick up whatever's left over. We'll pick it up next week. But I will be live streaming tomorrow, probably a little bit earlier than normal. Okay, I literally got to get up off here. Now, I don't have time to play the video where Jay Witt went up there. If someone reminds me to these abandonment, someone remind me to do this in the future.
Right,
I'll pull it up.
Grace and peace, everybody.
Okay, so he walks through these abandoned buildings, and there's this bus over here that I was referencing earlier with a battery. They done stole the battery out of the thing. Anyway, I don't have time for that to get to that. Here's the magic school bus. That's it right there. That's the actual. Anyway, I don't have time. I want to thank everyone for tuning on. And real quick, he only reads for fun, but knows all about sports. Yeah. Umar says that he don't follow sports, but he does. He's a sport. He bets on sports too with donation money. He's posted that on his Instagram page. Thank you so much, Afropunk, and thank you. Who was that? Life D. Thank you so much. Black Wolf says Umar has been banished by a lot of people. It's clear he is attempting to pull in a whole new audience of people that aren't researched on him, especially younger people. That's what he's been doing. Thank you so much, Black Wolf. Coco says your growth through the storm is commendable. Yeah, I've grown a lot, but a lot of it has to do with holding myself accountable and taking steps to do better in life. And there's people who criticize me for where I was at in the past, including Dempsey Spears. But I didn't take that as an insult. What I did was I used that as motivation to do better. And I have done better, right? And I've gotten better, been doing better as a husband, doing better as a father, doing better here on YouTube. The list goes on and on. At my job, doing better. Even went and got picked up a degree. But with Dempsey, there was a lot of lies that he was telling as well. So there's nothing wrong with criticism, but there's something wrong with lies. Right. And Dempsey Spears did a lot of that. But on the other hand, I think him and other people inspired me to do better. And I have done better. OK, thank you, Kogo. And then SH Place says, I won't be specific, but I remember how a person. OK, I got that one. OK, I'm all caught up here inside time. Thanks everyone who sent in super chats during this live stream. I appreciate it. Tomorrow, we will cover the Umar Johnson shot at 50 because we got 55%. That's what they all want to do. And then we'll pick up with the series that we've been doing. Continuing with the 2025 video reviews. We'll pick that up probably on Monday, unless Umar goes live over the weekend, because I normally don't go live over the weekends. Thank you guys so much, everyone inside the Cookie Crush chat, for tuning on in. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And again, if you enjoyed the show at any point during this live stream, make sure you hit that like button. Okay? Okay, thank you so much. I love y'all, and I'll talk with y'all very, very soon. All right, take care. Peace.